Glory be, the funk's on me, Bobble.
Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive.
Well, it's 1975, and we'll just be keeping the funk alive.
Do that funk. Just do that funk.
So what that?
Do that funk. Yeah, just do that funk.
Keep the fender.
Just do that funk. Do that funk.
Listen up. We brought in a very special consultant to help us with our fundamentals.
This is a triangle.
Triangle.
What's this?
Triangle.
What's this?
Triangle.
What's this?
The bill.
What'd that cost?
$4 million.
And he's not going to stick around to see if it works?
Sounds like a good thing.
Budget is really working hard to improve truck rental.
Yeah, rates starting in 1995.
And a service where our movers help load and unload the trucks.
Can we make load and unload even better?
Roller skates to make the move even faster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they don't need roller skates. Yeah, no, not roller skates, but load and unload.
Is that your idea? That's a terrific idea.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by the AT&T Ultimate Fan Zone on NBA.com. You can get NBA gear just by talking on the phone. By Lamisil AT, the official athlete's foot treatment of the NBA. By Budget, Fast Break is our fastest way to rent a car. Find out more at Budget.com. And by NikeBasketball.com.
We're still alive. We're not out of it. The rules are you got to win 3, and they've only won 2, and we're trying to get to 2.
I thought it was going to be a difficult matchup, but I didn't know it would be as close as it would be. I thought we would probably sweep them.
Hopefully we try to instill in our guys that, there's still something left, and we got to fight for it.
At least if we go out tonight, we lose, we can say we left it all on the line. That's what we have to go out there and do.
Because if they come and they're free and easy, look out, because they're too quick and too athletic for us.
The Utah Jazz have had an incredible run, 19 consecutive playoff appearances, and that will serve as our backdrop for tonight's Game 4, an elimination game with the Sacramento Kings, up 2-1 in this best-of-5 first-round series. And good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan. This matchup was thought to be a mismatch because Sacramento had swept right through the regular season, beating Utah by an average of 22 points every game. But this has been an intense series, a dramatic series. And John Thompson tells us why. John?
Thanks, Kevin. After looking at the series, I've been extremely impressed with how the Jazz has shut down the Kings' high-powered offense. And this is how they've done it. They're very patient on offense. Good execution, shooting late in the shot clock. They get back on defense, take away the break, and clog the middle of the floor. They've rebounded well in 2 of the 3 games. They must rebound well tonight. And finally, they have played physical, the right idea, against a finesse Kings team. They've made it a very tough series, but one thing I know, my partner Danny Ainge will have a different opinion of everything.
Well, that's pretty good, Coach, but there's a whole lot more to the story than controlling their fast break. They've also controlled 3 key matchups in this series so far. And let's start with the small forward position. Peja Stojakovic has been stifled by Kirilenko. The long arms of him have caused Stojakovic to shoot 35% in the series. Vlade Divac has been destroyed by Karl Malone. Only 1 assist in this entire series. And Doug Christie has been a good shooter throughout the regular season. Only 3 for 15 for 20% so far in this playoff series. But one guy they have not been able to control. No, not Chris Webber, but Mike Bibby. Not only did he score 26 points in Game 3, but the timing of the shots were huge. Right here, he creates his own offense on a step-back jump shot. Peja Stojakovic having a tough time getting some shots. Bibby, they take away his outside shot, penetrates, and look how wide open Peja is. Key basket in the 4th quarter. And then Mike Bibby out-foxing the old fox, John Stockton. Stockton getting caught cheating. Bibby ties the score at 82 late in the 4th quarter. Mike Bibby has been spectacular. They've got to find a way to stop him. But, you know, Sacramento is still in control of this series 2-1. But, Kevin, they have yet to play their best basketball.
Danny, Utah facing a one-game series in its effort to stay alive. The Kings and Jazz. These are the NBA playoffs on TNT.
Log on to CNNSI.com. Sports Illustrated at the speed of CNN.
The closer you get, the more extreme it gets. The most extreme V-twins on the planet. VTX from Honda.
I taught him how to do that reverse slam dunk.
I taught him the fundamentals.
Boxing out.
Boxing out.
Dipsy doing.
Rebound.
Twist people up.
Bounce pass.
That's me.
I taught him.
I showed him that.
That's me.
Not you, me. That was me.
Who you gonna listen to? How about yourself? Obey your thirst. Sprite.
I thought you told him to be a dentist. Man, don't move your head.
Come on!
Primary vent valve is closed. Flight pressurization is underway. Counting. The development flight instrumentation recorders are on. Perfect. 8, 7, 6. Fire. Good to go. 4. 1.
The passage is intense. But if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
As the sun sets in the west, the Utah Jazz hoping their season does not end tonight. Now our Circuit City starting lineups. Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Doug Christie, and Mike Bibby. And for the Utah Jazz, the sensational rookie Andre Kirilenko, Karl Malone, Sharon Collins, a rookie, Brian Russell, and John Stockton. And for more, let's send it over to Craig Sager.
With John Stockton turning 40, if the Jazz lose tonight, there's some speculation this will be his final game. But there's also a book on the shelf, a new one, Age Doesn't Matter Unless You're Cheese. There's nothing cheesy about his game, nor John Stockton. He's one of the most efficient players in the game. Saturday, with him in the lineup, the Jazz were plus 15. I remember meeting Satchel Paige in his final years in Kansas City. I marvel at the fact that this Hall of Famer made his debut at the age of 42 in the major leagues. He said, son, if you didn't know how old you was, how old would you be? That's how we should judge John Stockton. Kevin?
Great, Craig, thank you. He is 40 years of age. Here's Don Vaden, Teddy Bernhard, and Dan Crawford, our officials tonight. And here we go. And Danny, he's still got a lot left in the tank, speaking of John Stockton.
Well, we're talking to the coaching staff today, and they were saying that he's played his best basketball this year in 3 years, overcoming injuries. And everywhere you go in Utah, there's a lot of speculation. We may be watching one of the best point guards in the history play his last game tonight.
And one thing for sure, to follow up on Satchel Paige's expression, John Stockton certainly doesn't know how old he is, so he sure does play like a teenager.
There's Chris Webber inside against the rookie Collins and puts the Kings on top quickly, 2-0.
Whenever Collins is on their low post people, the eyes light up of the Sacramento Kings. You know, Karl Malone, he can only guard one of them, but he's given both Webber and Divac fits defensively in the post.
Well, what the Jazz are doing right now is what they have to do. They have to control the ball. They can't turn it over because when you turn it over, that initiates the fast break. They've got to control their house.
And Sacramento has been the team with turnover problems, turning it over more than any other playoff team. Christie, Stojakovic, who has been stone cold, but buries a three to begin the game.
And a bad defensive breakdown right there. Those shots will be open if they move the ball to the weak side and don't just keep it on the strong side right there. Doug Christie, great play by the penetrating kick.
Brian Russell, who's played in NBA Finals. Karl Malone. And off to John Stockton. Bibby quickly on him. Shot clock is down to 9. Stockton across the lane. And picked up by Malone. Shot clock at 4. Russell banged into by Christie. And a Sacramento foul. That's the first one.
Well, Christie bailed him out that time, Kevin, because they would have had their second in succession turnover, and they don't want that to happen.
And right here, when they go to the mismatch on the weak side, Kirilenko has to help because Brian Russell should not leave Christie struggling from the three-point shot. That's the last guy you want to leave open is Peja in the corner.
The shot clock begins at 14. This is Brian Russell. And a rebound by Weber. Quick outlet caught by Christie. Behind the back into Russell. Out to Stojakovic and bangs into Stockton. The shot clock at 19 and out of bounds the ball goes.
Well, not another good sign. John Stockton, as you know, in the last game picked up early fouls. As a result of it, he had to be very tentative. That's a great hustle play, but he can't afford to be tentative because he's got to direct his team.
Stockton picks up his first. Here comes Bibby on the feed from Weber. And Divac almost had it. Kirilenko took it away, and here comes Stockton the other way.
And you see Stockton, he's looking for the fast break, but doesn't want to force it. He's just waiting if it gets there. He does not want to get in a running match, but they will explore easy lay-ins and transition.
Stockton on the fly. Weber with the defense. And the quick trigger again. All the outlets have been to half court, and that's where Bibby now takes it into Stockton.
I've been wondering where the outlet pass has been going in the NBA. I mean, it's a lost art.
Weber trying to set a screen that gets it back for Bibby, and the Sacramento Kings have started this game 3 of 4 from the floor.
Well, and that's a bad sign, but still it's early in the game as we know. But what's got to happen is that the Jazz have to cut down turnovers. They have to make baskets because that'll stop them from getting their early offense down at the other end.
Here's Karl Malone, and Utah has started 0 of 3. Until Collins, the rookie, puts it in. His brother is a star center for New Jersey, and it's Jaren here in Utah.
I'm sorry, Kevin, there's so much noise in here. That's the offensive rebounds that they didn't get the last game. They've got to be able to get the offensive rebounds.
Nothing better stops the fast break than put back lay-ins right there and demoralizes the defense.
Shot clock down to 4. Weber grinding against Collins. Wipe it away with the foul on the rookie. And that's the first on him tonight.
2 Sacramento Kings players are right here trying to box out Collins, and there comes Kirilenko with those long arms again. Call him Plastic Man. Just knocks the ball loose. The guy was boxed out, but he still was able to reach over there and free it up for Collins.
Bibby to Christie to Weber. Shot clock at 9. Weber plowing his way inside. Rebound off Russell, taps it off to Stockton. With Bibby in his way, Stockton feeds inside to Karl Malone.
Well, that's just the case of the Kings having bad defense. You can come down in transition, but you've got to be ready to pick up.
Utah +1 so far in rebound in the early stages of this game. It's Stojakovic for 3. His second from downtown. Peja Stojakovic.
And good execution right there, coming off the screen.
Approaching 8 to play here in the first quarter. Brian Russell with Divac defending, ordered the shot.
But Brian was indecisive. He started to drop it low that time to Collins and then went back into a shooting mode himself.
Stojakovic starting 2 of 2. Kirilenko with the defense. Weber's on top. Shot clock at 11. Down the lane, Stojakovic, who is at 2 threes and takes it down the middle. He's got 8 to start the game.
Well, this is a perfect example. The guy's a great shooter. Somebody's got to really jump on him, not give any help, deny him from getting the basketball, and take his confidence away at this point because he's too good of a player to let have this kind of confidence this early in the game.
Collins answering at the other end.
Well, that's got 4. And that's one thing Collins can do is he can spread the defense. Ostertag's getting ready to check in, probably for Collins because of the lack of interior presence in the half-court defense.
Kings have led by as many as 8. Utah has not led as such so far. And here comes Bibby trying to dance on Stockton. And Christie out of bounds and off the Sacramento Kings.
How many times have we seen this fast break? You see Karl Malone trying to fill the lane. Stockton pushing it up the right side. Malone is going to outrun Weber right into the middle of the paint right there. Weber just not knowing where the defense is. That should never happen. That is a terrible breakdown on defense.
Well, particularly in transition defense, you've got to talk. You don't take the man you assign. You take the immediate danger.
Ray Ostertag just comes off the bench, and it's his first 2 of the game. And Johnny's had a nice playoff series so far.
Well, and he needs to have one because, you know, everybody's been sort of down on him at the organization early in the year, but I think he's definitely showing up and giving that big body presence in the middle.
All 12 of the Sacramento points have come from the front line, and so Christie nails a 3-point shot right there. 15-8, Sacramento by 7.
And what a great sight to see for Rick Adelman right there. Christie's had a lot of open threes in this series. Only 3 for 15 coming into this game. Big one right there for his confidence.
See the Sacramento Kings 3 of 3 from above the arc to start the game. Here comes Stockton, met by the defense of both Weber and Christie. And Ostertag screen. Shot clock at 2, and he's got to heave it up. And a shot clock violation.
Well, it's actually a good defense on the part of the Kings because the Jazz are being very deliberate, trying to pick out and get what they want, be selective, and that's a smart thing to do. But that's going to take a lot of defensive concentration on the part of the Kings, and so far they've done a good job with it.
Mike Bibby, who's Dan played in the NBA, now is the coach of the USC Trojans. And a rebound by Karl Malone.
Well, I like the strategy. You know, Stockton, they're wearing him out. He had to come off of 2 screens right there, and they're going to continue to make him defend the pick and rolls.
Stockton takes it into defense. The Devon's knocked out of bounds. 17 seconds to shoot when we come back. Sacramento Kings, the #1 seed in the Western Conference, push to a 4th game, and Utah.
We weren't technically a garage band since we practiced in a barn. We still make a lot of noise, only now it's on the phone.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited.
Luckily, I pay 1 flat rate and we talk till we're hoarse.
$19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any AT&T residential long-distance customer. Call all you want, whenever you want, and never watch the clock.
I love them, but I'm not going to pay a lot to listen to them. Nobody ever did.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
Hi, Rob.
Oh, hey, Miss Larson.
Nice caravan.
Thanks.
I used to have a van.
I can't believe my dad let you drive the Viper.
Yeah, what got into him?
Dodge Caravan, offering a power sliding door, a power rear hatch, and the kind of room you'll really dig. Grab Dodge's 7/100 powertrain pledge. Ford, GM, Toyota, and Honda don't match it.
I am Tisha Penachero. Portugal is in Europe. It's the first country in Europe if you take off from the East Coast, from New York, for instance. I just love Portugal. Everybody that talks about my game say, I love the way you pass the ball, I love the way you dribble. Comparing me to Magic Johnson. Come on, Magic Johnson, the greatest ever. I think I'm just a very outgoing person, likes to have fun. Just like the way I kind of play basketball is just the way I am off the court. This is who I am. I am Tisha Penachero.
Uncover the perfect cover-up. Absolute power. Saturday night at 8 on TNT.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Circuit City. Circuit City, we're with you. By the AT&T Ultimate Fan Zone on NBA.com. You can get NBA gear just by talking on the phone. By IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by American Express Financial Advisors. Make life rewarding.
And the Toronto Raptors were down 0-2, and now they've come back to force a Game 5. Only 6 teams in the history of this format have come down from 0-2 to win a series, and so a lot on the line as those 2 teams will square off later this week.
And there he comes off the first pick we talked about, and they're going to set another screen on Stockton. Stockton got in foul trouble in Game 3, and that was a critical part. Even if he doesn't get in foul trouble, you want him to continue to have to work on those screens to try to wear him out.
Why didn't you give that big guy credit for showing and switching on that guy? You're still picking on the big guy.
Because Bibby had a wide-open 12-foot shot right there. He didn't do anything.
Utah has not made any changes, nor has Sacramento from that timeout. Approaching 5.5 to play in the first quarter. That's a foul called, with John Stockton picking up his second of the game.
And that's big. You know, it's about the time, about a minute and a half from now is the time that Stockton comes out anyway. But you hate to get 2 fouls on John because he is so aggressive and intense. Right here, you see him driving the baseline, and he just gives a little shove to Bibby. Not much of a foul right there.
But I think Bibby gave him a little bit of his own medicine. Bibby, he touched Bibby, and then Bibby acted it out the rest of it.
So come on, that ain't a foul.
May not be a foul, but it's damn sure good acting.
Here comes Stojakovic, who gives off to Weber. Rusty LaRue is taking the place of John Stockton. Weber outside, Christie for three, and the Sacramento Kings missed their first three-point shot of the night. Here comes LaRue, had a chance to win it the other afternoon for the Utah Jazz.
You can see the length of Kirilenko right there. Peja had good rebounding position, but he was about a foot short, and there's his long arms again.
Kirilenko on the first team all-rookie squad announced today by the NBA. As he was in there working on Divac, and a foul called on Vlade. 34-year-old Vlade Divac picks up his first personal foul of the game. And Kirilenko to the free throw line, the 21-year-old Russian for the Utah Jazz.
Kirilenko is a great finesse player, but the thing I love about him is he doesn't mind taking the hit. He'll go inside and still be very effective.
How about the Grizzlies? Two of their rookies on that first team with Jason Richardson out of Michigan State. Tony Parker, the 19-year-old Parisian player. Kirilenko from Russia. Couple right there.
What about Tony Parker? He's having a great series up in Seattle. Good game 3 there. We'll get to see him on Wednesday night.
Look forward to that. So Sacramento led by 8, their lead down to 5. Utah has never led. Stojakovic with a couple of threes. Working up Kirilenko. Pointing down the lane. It looked like a rejection. It is a foul instead on Utah. And a technical foul on top of that on Jerry Sloan, the Jazz coach. The foul was called inside on Greg Ostertag. That's his first.
Well, Ostertag looked like he got him. Kirilenko looked like he got all ball, but Ostertag, there was definitely body contact. Not a lot, but a little body contact.
It looked like a great block to me. Ostertag, the big fella, got over there, did his job. There goes Danny picking on the big guy again.
Every game, John, every game, and these are the first free throws for Sacramento.
I can't pick on the officials every time. Well, like I'd like to, but Ostertag got over there. He did his job. That should have been a no call. I agree with that.
And he's making his presence felt, Danny. I mean, he's really been active in this and really getting involved. I love the way he's been playing so far.
10 points so far for Stojakovic. John Stockton on the Utah bench with a couple of fouls, early fouls, and that is not good. And at the free throw line now, both teams are 2 of 2 tonight. And Stojakovic is off to a terrific start. I think, Danny, it was more puzzling than any other poor shooting king. What was wrong with Stojakovic?
I think Stojakovic was just pressing, and he was impatient. He tries to do everything off the dribble. Right now, they're much more patient on offense going to the weak side.
That's a big-time 3, John, by Brian Russell.
And very well needed because they've been trying to concentrate inside. Defensively, the Kings are doing a good job inside, so Russell has to open it up.
Here's Bibby out there with Weber, Vlade Divac, Stojakovic, and Christie. A 2-point shot goes astray. Kirilenko picks up another rebound for the Utah Jazz.
Well, Brian Russell's only getting him 7 points in this series, so they need some out of him. You know, they want to see the Brian Russell of 1998.
Kirilenko for 2. That missed everything on that shot.
That was wide right.
It's a breeze.
Wide right.
Well, that's the part of Kirilenko's game. As his jump shot evolves, he's going to be a nice player.
Look at Christie sneaking inside and somehow got it to go.
Well, he showed a lot of power in there, too, because he went right through Ostertag on that.
Utah out there with Malone, Rusty LaRue, Ostertag, Kirilenko, and Russell.
Vlade didn't get any assists in 2 of the 3 games, and that's what he's best at getting those assists. But right here, 2 guys come to him. You got to throw that shot out of there. What good does it do to be plays? He'll be 6'5". He's from Kansas, isn't he?
Exactly right. The shot blocker from the Plains.
He wanted me to comment on that.
I know exactly what he wanted. Here comes LaRue for 3. Rusty LaRue played with the Chicago Bulls when the Bulls beat the Utah Jazz in the finals a couple of years ago.
Oh, a big shot. Rusty LaRue has been on the court in some nice runs for this Jazz team.
Weber with the miss. Kirilenko with his 4th rebound. Here comes LaRue. And Bibby is there to beat him defensively. They got Christie on Russell.
And this is kind of what's happened in 2 of the 3 games. Big starts by Sacramento, and Utah battles right back in the game.
Ostertag almost had a second try at it, and Chris Weber gets the rebound, and a technical foul is called on Greg Ostertag. That is the second Utah Jazz T. Before was on Jerry Sloan. So Ostertag will get the T. And Stojakovic at the free throw line. This season an 87% free throw shooter.
He's complaining for a foul right there. You just got to keep playing, though. You know, you say your thing, but don't keep harping on it. Get a technical right now. Ostertag's playing with a lot of emotion out there.
It's an elimination game for the Utah Jazz.
When I make a film, if I could make one more shot, and I've got to be at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks, I'd blow the shot off all the time.
Catch Woody Allen, A Life in Film, a world premiere documentary, Saturday, May 4th at 8 p.m., only on Turner Classic Movies.
Thank you for calling American Express. This is Tara Hilton. How can I help you?
Talking to our card members, I just enjoy doing that.
I've been an American Express financial advisor for 13 years.
I get to know customers. I listen to them.
They can give you all the service that you need.
Thank you.
We were able to make different travel arrangements.
Some small way, you were able to influence people's lives.
It helps take out some of the stress in their life.
Which is an amazing thing to be able to do.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will feel better about my dad living by himself.
I will know my children are safe.
I will go on vacation and finally be able to relax!
ADT helps more people feel safe in more ways than any other security company. Call 800-ADT-ASAP or an ADT authorized dealer and get ADT burglary protection installed for as little as $99. You could also save up to 20% off your basic homeowner's insurance.
I will live my life.
My life.
My life.
On my terms!
Call now and get ADT installed from $99, plus up to 20% off homeowner's insurance. ADT. Always there.
I still think we're a better basketball team, but tonight and Saturday we weren't. We didn't show that, and we have to get back to playing Piston basketball if we're going to advance.
How do you assess Game 5?
There's no way to assess. You know, if you lose, you're going home for the summer, crying about what if, and we have to bring it Thursday night and come and play with some pride.
You think he forgot that was on?
I hope he forgot.
I hope he did too. Anyway, there's the Eastern bracket. Thursday, Game 5, Detroit and Toronto. Corliss Williamson, a former Sacramento King, the 6th Man of the Year award winner in the NBA. John Stockton, 2 fouls. That is a pretty major story. Rusty LaRue has come in. He's hit a big shot already. Sacramento has led by as many as 8. The Jazz have never led. It's 21-15 with 3 to play.
Well, Utah Jazz have to get under control right now. They're letting themselves get too emotionally involved in the game, and particularly when you show gestures. The referee does not want to be embarrassed. Sometimes you're better off whispering your nastiness to him as opposed to saying it loud and gesturing.
Weber with the miss. LaRue with the rebound. Neither team made a substitution during that timeout.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Ostertag's been in the doghouse for 5 years. He finally got out of it. Jerry Sloan got a technical trying to defend him. All his teammates were all excited last game.
What a rejection by Kirilenko. And out of bounds, and Utah gets it. How in the world did the Russian rocket get so high?
Well, look at this. He's just so long right there. I don't think anybody anticipates that they see where his head is, and the arms just keep going out like Inspector Gadget just keeps stretching and stretching and stretching.
And the Sacramento Kings have their first turnover tonight. Bobby Jackson's going to check in. Scott Pollard will come in for the Sacramento Kings. Quincy Lewis will check in for the Utah Jazz.
You've got to love Curry. He goes effort, though. I mean, he doesn't mind contact. He moves, he hustles. He does a lot of things out on the basketball court. When he learns how to play, he's really going to be good.
Karl Malone over Weber. Rebound by Ostertag. And Pollard's on him. 2 Kansas Jayhawks going head-to-head. Into LaRue. What a pass by Greg Ostertag.
And a great pass by Ostertag, as you indicated. Talking about emotions, he went down the floor doing an unusual dance and yelling out.
That's the first assist of the year for Ostertag.
Bobby Jackson for three.
And those are such big baskets. Those are the ones I was talking about, Mike Bibby. Those are the silencers right there. Bobby Jackson knocks it down from the corner. The crowd was going crazy, and it just turns quiet.
Utah shooting 41% from the field. They've hit 2 threes. And Sacramento shooting 47%. Kirilenko into Stojakovic with the drive. Van Howard is there to rip it away.
Kings are doing a great job of covering the paint.
And Jackson at the other end. Danny, the early release has been a big factor in Sacramento's early lead.
Right, and Utah was back that time. Rusty LaRue just tripped over the three-point line.
LaRue approaching a minute to play in the first quarter.
A part of the game plan of the Jazz is to try to be physical inside, as they're doing right now. But they're doing a very good job by the Kings by defending the inside.
That is a foul. It's inside on Karl Malone, his first.
Well, right here, they're trying to deny the ball. They should not be pressuring Greg Ostertag. You should beg him to shoot that shot from 12 feet. But right here, they just smother Kirilenko, give him a taste of his own medicine right there. Nowhere to throw the ball.
5 Utah turnovers. Stockton on the bench with 2 fouls. Karl Malone leaves with his first. Sacramento has tied their biggest lead. Daniel Marshall comes in place of Karl Malone. A screen by Pollard. Jackson is open, and Bobby Jackson has come off the bench to go 3 of 3 and get 7 points in 2 minutes.
And those were the shots Mike Bibby hit in Game 1 and Game 3. Struggled, missed 3, and Bobby Jackson comes right off the bench. Second in the 6-man award. That's why he's out there.
Ostertag drives, ties the lane. I don't think I've seen it play like this, John.
I know I haven't seen it play like this, but I love what I'm seeing.
Stojakovic, Christian, nice pass inside, double-teamed Weber. Rebound by Ostertag, some early release of themselves, and he overshoots Marshall at the other end.
Ostertag is playing with some serious emotion right here. Here he goes to the basket right here. Maybe he deserves a pay raise. A dunk off the dribble right there. Great play, but that little quarterbacking from full court, he got a little carried away.
Bobby Jackson has been a star so far off the bench. And fires again for 2, his first miss. Ostertag with the rebound. LaRue trying to beat the clock. Final seconds of the first quarter. Double team, knocked away. And .7 on the clock. And let's see if Sacramento can get off a shot. .7 has been a pretty famous number this past weekend.
Yeah, .7. We know you can't turn and shoot.
And knock away. That takes us to the end of the first. Stojakovic goes 3 of 3 with 12 points and 4 free throws and a couple of threes. Utah commits 6 turnovers. Stockton's got 2 fouls. The Kings on top by 8.
TNT's hit original drama returns with a special 2-hour season premiere.
Police, hold it! All units, shots fired!
She's got battle skills that are supernatural. This June, New York's toughest cop is back. See the 2-hour season premiere, Witchblade, Sunday, June 16th at 8, only on TNT.
Out here, your boss doesn't own you. Your bank doesn't own you. Out here, nobody owns you. But you. Head for the mountains and push.
It's not having what you want. It's wanting what you've got. I'm gonna soak up the sun. I'm gonna tell everyone to lighten up. I'm gonna soak up the sun. I'm gonna soak up the sun.
Today, Italian.
Sir,
Oh, what is it?
I think most of us are in the mood for Chinese.
No, we're doing Italian.
I feel like steak.
How about Mexican?
Nope. How about pasta? Pasta is Italian.
Hey, let's all do whatever we feel like.
The Fridays take on menus: steak, Asian, Southwestern, or Italian, like our new chicken bruschetta pasta. Eat what you love where you eat at Fridays.
Hey, guys. I got someone here who wants to meet you.
A dog!
A dog?
A dog.
But you told them we couldn't get a dog until we got the house. Did you hear something from our lender?
We got the house.
Call the Fannie Mae Foundation for a free guide to help put you on the path to home ownership and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
Think of e-business as a game. You got players, you got management. You got opponents who don't always play by the rules. This game takes strategy and the ability to move that metaphorical ball that is information with more money on the line than in any other game that's ever been played. E-business isn't just a game, it's the game. So if you're going to play, play to win.
These are the NBA playoffs on TNT. We're in Salt Lake City, Utah, the home of the Olympics and the home of first-round NBA basketball. The Kings on top by as many as 10, leading by 8. The bench has been tough for both teams, John.
Well, in particular, Ostertag has been for the Jazz. He's gone 4 and 4. He's got 4 rebounds and 4 points, but even more, his energy and enthusiasm is unbelievable.
And Danny, what about the shooters off the bench?
Well, LaRue's had a nice lift right there when Stockton got foul trouble, but Bobby Jackson has given him some nice energy from the outside.
And a 3-on-1 the other way, and Stojakovic has put in 14 points and a turnover as Marshall dribbled inbounds. And that is the 9th Utah Jazz turnover.
9 turnovers in 1 quarter. I mean, just to start the second quarter, then that is unheard of for the Utah Jazz.
Well, and if they do that, that certainly will initiate a lot of fast breaks for the Kings, which is what they want to stop.
All right, Sacramento out there with Weber, Stojakovic, Scott Pollard, Turkoglu comes in for the first time, and Bobby Jackson on top.
I don't think the Jazz are getting back quickly on defense either. That time, John Stockton was the only one back.
Turkoglu snaps it out to Pollard. The Kings on a 9-2 run. And a foul called on Pollard. That's the first on him.
Another turnover right here. Donyell Marshall just gets stripped. Weber pulls a Karl Malone. He's one of the best in the league at doing that. Leads the fast break. What an asset to have a power forward out leading your fast break. Paige and Bobby Jackson fill the lanes.
Stockton back out there with 2 fouls. Scott Padgett comes in for the first time. Marshall remains. Ostertag and Quincy Lewis.
Well, it's a big difference when John Stockton is out there. It may not be difference in the score sometimes, but it definitely is difference in the order and the structure and how they do things with confidence.
Quincy Lewis, the former Big Ten Player of the Year, nailing that shot. And here comes Weber the other way. Kings at 47% shooting, and so too Utah. Another foul. Ostertag again picks up his second. He and Stockton both had 2 fouls now for the Utah Jazz.
And you talk about power forwards and throwing back behind the back passes. You know, that's the only pass that was available to get the ball there. Excellent play. Stojakovic maybe got away with a walk right there, but you see Ostertag's arms coming down at an angle. Just keep your arms up straight. He might have got away with it.
Well, the weak side defense has to be far more alert, because one of the signs that you know about the Kings is that they're in motion, they're in backdoor. Not only can everybody pass the ball, everybody are great cutters, and that's what makes passing more relevant.
And the Yugoslavian Peja Stojakovic, the #1 player in European basketball, has put in 16 points, and Sacramento equals their biggest lead tonight of 10. It's Stockton with Jackson on him. Stojakovic was screened by Stockton. Padgett with the switch and Jackson on him. And Padgett throws it away.
You know, there are a lot of turnovers on the pod right now of the Jazz, but I give a lot of credit to the Kings defense. We talk about their offensive flamboyance and running down the floor in the up-tempo, but they're doing a great job defensively.
Chris Weber. And it's a 12-point lead, the biggest tonight for the Kings. Stockton the other way, and into Marshall.
Well, that was all created by John Stockton, but Donyell Marshall, he's not strong enough to guard Weber down on the block. Weber did a nice job of taking it to the basket on him.
Here's Stojakovic to Weber. Marshall's on Weber. Screen by Weber. Stojakovic for 3 and a miss. Rebounding in the game, Utah +6 right now.
That's not playoff basketball right there. I mean, that's a terrible shot. Stojakovic can get a shot anytime he wants. They got big advantages down on the low post. Get it into Weber first, and then kick it out for those open jump shots.
Stockton has started the game, John, 0 of 3 from the field.
Well, and I think that he's a little cold, actually, from being on the bench. But you notice the difference in his play when he comes out, though. He can create things as well as set it up himself.
Turkoglu for 3. And Pollard digs it out. Stojakovic into Lewis and out to Turkoglu. And Marshall defending. As is Lewis. And a 3-second violation. And it's called inside on Sacramento. That's the second Kings turnover of the game.
Well, we talk about Ostertag being in the doghouse. What about Quincy Lewis, a first-round draft pick 2 years ago? He's hardly even had a chance to play. Been on the injured list, hasn't played hard enough. And yet this guy's getting significant minutes in this playoff series because he had a strong finish down the stretch.
And the Sacramento bench, guys, has not all been called upon that much by Coach Rick Adelman. He's gone mainly with the starters.
And they haven't answered the call. That's why Bobby Jackson having a great game here, but he's really struggled shooting the ball. Turkoglu has been non-existent, and Pollard has been giving him the effort that he always gives him.
And I tell you what they give him, though. When Turkoglu, Pollard comes in, and Jackson, they become more physical. But, they're not as timid as a team. They're more aggressive.
Karl Malone is back in. He fed Padgett, who took it down the lane. And a foul called. It's on Jackson for the first. Stojakovic, a couple threes, Danny, to start things off.
Well, he's done everything. He's scored in a lot of different ways. Taking the ball to the rack because he's outside shot, you have to honor him. He's done everything. They got to the free throw line, threes and lay-ins.
This weekend, all the drama all weekend long is on TNT. Saturday night at 8, take on Absolute Power. And Sunday at 8, don't miss Hard to Kill. It all starts this weekend on TNT.
Oh, well, glory be, the funk's on me, Bobby.
Keep that funk alive. Keep that funk alive.
Well, it's 1975, and we'll just be keeping the funk alive there.
Ice Premium Malt Beverage. Drink responsibly.
Sarah bought a new Kia Sportage. It came with 3 airbags and 24-hour roadside assistance. Trish bought a Honda CR-V. 2 airbags, no roadside assistance. Sarah's Sportage came with a 10-year warranty. Trish's Honda, just 3. And yet Sarah paid thousands less than poor Trish.
Jill, will you shut it?
Oh, Trish is upset. Is it because Sarah's been dating her ex-boyfriend?
The 2002 Kia Sportage. Right now, get $2,000 cash back.
He's a consummate professional. He never wavers to what the game is about, and in all the years that I've been around him, he's very serious about it. He knew he made a mistake, and he'll play through it. He'll get himself ready to play today the best he can, and that's what he's always been able to do. He's not going to sit around and harbor those kind of thoughts, because he's not a guy that ever in my life that I've been around him has ever played backwards.
And he's also not thinking about the past. I asked him when he came in tonight if this was any thought about being his last game. He said no. Also his wife Nada, who came in with a family. I asked her if there's any talk about this possibly being his last game, and she goes, oh my gosh, no. I said, really? She goes, oh my gosh, no. We'll talk about that when we go this summer to the lake house in Idaho. Kevin?
Let's hope he doesn't leave. He's done so much great for this game, and about as unassuming superstar, John, that we have seen.
Well, and the word is respect. I mean, the way the guy plays, he's respected by his opponent, he's respected by his teammates. And, age isn't even a question or factor, I don't think.
Turkoglu for 3. And rebound by Marshall. Lost it inside, and a whistle and a Sacramento foul. It's on Bobby Jackson.
But that's what Daniel has to do. He has to make himself felt underneath the basket, particularly now when the Kings put their substitutes in. As I said, Turkoglu, Jackson, Pollard, they become more physical. Christie. Now, and you also have Weber in there.
Kings have led by as many as 12. Utah has never led. Quincy Lewis into Christie, a great defensive player. Christie the rebound.
It's a nice move by Quincy Lewis right there with his size. He's able to get the shot up and over.
Jackson for three. Paget with the rebound.
Karl Malone's been sort of quiet tonight, Danny. He hasn't really been a factor that much offensively out there.
No, he hasn't. He's kind of pacing himself right now. In the fourth quarter, you know he's going to get the ball a lot more, but they need him right now because they're having trouble in their half court.
Malone is 1 of 4. Defending was Pollard. Paget with the rebound and a foul.
Rick Adelman is not happy with Hito right there. His bench guys are complaining about not getting as many minutes as they did in the regular season. That's why. Got to box out.
Danny, Bobby Jackson just picked up his 3rd personal foul. You see the +5 for Utah in rebounding. That's going to bring Mike Bibby back off the Sacramento bench and back onto the floor.
Well, Bobby gave him the energy that he needed. It was about time for Bibby to come back into the game anyway, so it won't hurt him too bad.
Utah has hit 2 threes. Sacramento is at 4.
Kings are really taking away their inside game. This is where they need the scores down here.
Malone with another miss. Karl Malone has started 1 of 6. John Stockton 0 of 3. It's Chris Webber with the great fake. And no one home. Another turnover, the 3rd for the Sacramento Kings.
See, Karl's frustrated with the officiating. He's used to getting those calls. He got away with some flops in the last game that he didn't deserve, so he's used to getting those calls.
Aleksej Stojakovic with the game-high 16 points. You can see each team has missed 4 straight from the field. Marshall for 3. Paget had a hand on it. Christie digs it out. Christie's got 5 rebounds. Here comes Turner at the other end. Marshall may have ordered the shot. Weber had it knocked away. Here comes John Stockton. It's a 4-on-3. Stockton bullets it inside to Marshall. Then to Malone.
Same thing with Chris Webber at the other end down there. I mean, you don't get the call, you got to get back and help your teammates on defense. He was complaining like Karl Malone was the time before.
And a foul called on Paget. His first.
Marshall back on defense all by himself, does a good job. Good block right there on Hito. Takes it strong to the hole. Right there, Russell gets Webber on the way down. He's winking at the ref with a complaining about he's got to get back and help with the team on defense and then talk to the ref.
I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the fact that the Kings have stepped up physically. You know, they're labeled a finesse team, but they really answered the bell here.
What a great defensive play by Daniel Marshall.
2 in a row, and that gets the Jazz out in the open court where they are getting some open looks.
Marshall for 3. And Webber collects the rebound. Sacramento has not hit from the field in almost 4 minutes.
Well, we know Daniel Marshall has allowed Webber to get really deep on those plays, but with his long arms, Chris is underestimating. He's kind of like Karolinko.
Divac is double. Reaching it again. Oh, nice backpedaling move by 34-year-old Vlade Divac.
I couldn't tell whether it was a nice move or he was stumbling and turned it into a basket.
He may have been traveling.
Malone has been in Divac's head. Divac's 2 games with 0 field goals, and that's his first field goal halfway through the second quarter tonight. And Malone has pretty much taken him out of the game offensively, out of the series.
Stockton. John is 0 of 3. Malone. Paget, known for his 3-point shooting, maneuvers in on Webber, who gave blockbuster defense. And a rebound by Christie.
Kings are doing a great job rotating and covering up shooters. They're not giving them easy looks.
What a pass by Christie into Webber.
And what a catch. I don't know how many big guys could catch that, or little guys, Coach.
How many of them could catch it? How many little guys would pass it?
Not many, John. We've seen that.
We know the guy beside me wouldn't have passed it.
I saw him passing some highlights.
I invented that pass.
That's exactly right.
I stole that from Bob Cousy.
It was a rocket. Stockton to Russell. Stockton picked up by Bibby. Jackson on the bench with 4 fouls. Stockton playing with 2. A twirl inside by Millard. And a foul on the Sacramento Kings inside. And Divac picks up his second.
Well, right here, he allows him to get deep. Weber backs him all the way into the paint, backpedal, but he doesn't realize that Daniel can recover. He's got such long arms.
The number 1 seed Kings on top.
Betty! You made it to the reunion!
It's Jane.
Close enough. So what do you got there?
Well, it's a Kia Spectra. It's like your Toyota Corolla, except that it came standard with power windows and locks, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and my Spectra was $2,700 less than yours.
Oh, yeah? Well, I took Buff Johnson to the prom.
You mean that, Buff Johnson?
Right now, get the Kia Spectra for $2,700 less than the Toyota Corolla.
DirecTV presents an exclusive Freeview event. You remember the power of pop? Well, the pop rock powerhouse, the Knack, is back. They influenced a generation of rockers, and now the hot-headed foursome present a special concert from the Rock and Roll Funhouse, featuring exclusive interviews and anecdotes from the band. The Knack, free every weekend this month on Channel 103. Stay tuned at the end of the show for a very special offer.
Alert! You have reached the end of the internet. You have seen everything there is to see. Please go back now.
Experience the joy of DirecTV DSL. Call now and pay only $29.99 per month for your first 3 months. Call 1-877-4DSL-JOY now.
I thought you were surfing the internet.
Yeah, I finished it.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by NikeBasketball.com and by Smirnoff Ice, intelligent nightlife.
Some head games in this series with the big guys up front, Weber and Divac. But tonight, maybe a different story.
Well, so far in this series, Carl has outflopped Vlade. So the acting award, that, what do we call it, the Oscar, goes to Karl Malone so far in this series.
Well, Sacramento is off on a 7-0 run to start the game. They led by 8 after the first quarter. Their big lead has mushroomed to 12. Right now, they're at a 38-28 advantage. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. It's Stojakovic at the free throw line because Karl Malone had the technical. That's the 3rd technical foul called on the Utah Jazz in this first half.
Well, and Karl might have need that to get himself going because this may be his house, but he hadn't been home lately. You know, I mean, I think that maybe if he gets himself excited and gets himself going, the Karl Malone we've grown to know, he hasn't been tonight.
Well, I'm wondering now, Danny, about the emotion. Too much? Is it being directed in the wrong way?
No, I think it is directed in the wrong way because they're complaining a little bit too much and they're not responding. Carl's 2 for 8, hasn't gone to the free throw line. He's glaring at the officials, and Chris Webber's doing the same at the other end. I mean, it's one, you can talk to the officials. These guys are both superstars. The officials will listen to them, but you can't hurt your team by not getting back on defense.
Well, sometimes you've got to get excited and talk to the official, but you've got to know when to stop because the officials aren't going to be humiliated out here, and then it becomes counterproductive after a while.
Starting 5 out there for the Sacramento Kings, Weber, Bibby, Divac, along with Stojakovic and Christian. It's Divac again, working on Malone. Knocks it down for a second consecutive time. The games continue. He's got 4.
Well, Vlade's starting to figure it out. I mean, Vlade has a great touch inside, and he should be able to score on Karl Malone, but he's been frustrated so far, but 2 big baskets right there might get his confidence going.
Brian Russell from 3. Marshall out there with Malone, Kirilenko, Stockton. And here comes Bibby the other way. Russell is also out there for the Utah Jazz. D-Box from long range. Kirilenko the rebound.
Jazz don't seem to be able to get anything from the outside. The Kings defense has negated their whole inside game. That's where they wanted to attack. They wanted to go inside and be aggressive inside.
Stockton, who has started the game 0 of 3, dancing on Bibby, knowing the D-Box is waiting. Malone inside, and Karl Malone has started 2 of 9. But Marshall is there, and he's got 6 coming off the bench.
And see right there, though, Karl got to the free throw line in the last game, and he's not getting to the free throw line on that play. But right there, again, Marshall with those long arms follows it up.
Here comes Webber on Daniel Marshall.
Well, that's a beautiful move. He's going to the basket now as opposed to staying outside and shooting. I love it when he's going inside. He's got so many other outside shooters on his team. You need that inside component from both Webber and Devon.
Webber's got 10. 6 have come in the second quarter. It's Stockton to Karl Malone over the defending Vlade Divac. And Malone's got 6.
Well, Karl Malone steps out that time, doesn't try to get it to the basket. You know, he doesn't have the elevation that he used to have, so he relies on getting to the free throw line and using his strength to get off and create space.
Look at Stojakovic work around one screen and one pick after another. 18 points in the first
Well,
half.
and that was just terrible defense. He did a good job going by the initial line of defense, but it should have been some form of secondary defense there. He just walked right to the basket.
Here comes Stockton, Bibby on him. Malone with Stojakovic. Christie with those long arms bats it away.
We have a timeout, Sacramento.
Right here we see Vlade with the hook shot. He doesn't try to back him in too deep, so Karl can do that fall away, step back defense. But right there, an excellent job. A good play by Karl going to the basket. Stojakovic does a good job of avoiding contact. A lot of times Karl doesn't try to make the basket, just tries to get to the free throw line.
Smirnoff Ice Premium Malt Beverage, reminding you that if you're gonna drink, do whatever it takes to act responsibly.
Uh-oh. They're all down. Mm-hmm. It happens. The whole team down at once? That's infrastructure. Well, what do we do? Just watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, back up and recovery!
Wow. Miracle. No miracle. But close.
Sarah bought a new Kia Sportage. It came with 3 airbags and 24-hour roadside assistance. Trish bought a Honda CR-V. 2 airbags, no roadside assistance. Sarah's Sportage came with a 10-year warranty. Trish's Honda, just 3. And yet Sarah paid thousands less than poor Trish.
Jill, will you shut it?
Oh, Trish is upset. Is it because Sarah's been dating her ex-boyfriend?
The 2002 Kia Sportage. Right now, get $2,000 cash back.
Experience NBA.com on America Online. See the best action shots and off-the-court photos every night at America Online. Keyword NBA.com.
Trained to kill. Sworn to protect. Driven by revenge. Steven Seagal is Hard to Kill. Sunday night at 8 on TNT. We know drama.
Well, the Utah Jazz have had 3 technical fouls called on them, including Malone. John Stockton and Karl have combined 3 of 13 from the field, 10 turnovers, and we've got a 44-34 game. With the Sacramento Kings on top, Utah has never led. Shot clock at 2. And Stockton got it to finally roll in. John Stockton gets his first of the night.
You know, Utah's only down by 8 points. This is amazing. It seems like Sacramento was destroying him in this game, but Utah's just hanging in there because they really, even though they've given up some easy baskets, they haven't given up throughout this series. And Stojakovic has been hot. they've been able to just contain the tempo.
He stepped out of bounds. That's the 5th turnover now for the Sacramento Kings. Foul trouble right now. A couple Utah players with 2. Ostertag has 2, Stockton has 2, and 3 for Bobby Jackson on the bench right now. 2 for Divac.
I think Stockton needs to get Malone going, because in order for them to be successful in here, I think he's got to get himself back on in step.
Look at Stockton. Off to Malone. Into Marshall. Double teamed inside. Another rebound by Weber. Here comes the galloping Christie. Quick feed to maybe a reverse. And a Stockton rebound. Utah +2 in rebounding tonight. It's Stockton. Kirilenko. Stojakovic right there. What kind of shooter is Kirilenko, Danny?
Not a very good shooter. That's right. That's good patience right there. Don't get in a track meet with these guys.
Another Utah turnover. They now have 11.
Well, they're showing patience, but again, the Kings are doing a great job defensively in anticipating and in covering for each other.
Weber and Marshall. Christie sitting. 2 guys banging into each other, and Doug Christie picks up his 2nd personal foul.
Excellent defensive play by Brian Russell right there. He anticipated the screen by Doug Christie, jumped in his way, and got the charge.
I want to see if the Jazz will get Malone going. I just think offensively he's got to get his confidence back, get feeling good about himself.
Utah shooting 39% from the field. Stockton is at 1 from the floor.
And you see the Sacramento's defense is all contained inside the paint. They just do not honor the outside shooting. And a terrible foul right there by Weber, bailing Daniel Marshall fading away from the basket. That's awful.
Well, very bad foul, because Marshall isn't strong enough to back him in. The only thing he's going to do is fade on it. He's tried to go to the basket. Weber is too strong for him in there.
Weber picks up his 1st personal foul. He's got 10 points tonight.
Well, he's got him. The shot clock is going down. He's got nowhere to gain on him. The only thing he can do is shoot a fadeaway shot. Right here, don't bail him out. They grabbed his wrist.
Here's Daniel Marshall at the free throw line. From the stripe tonight, the Utah Jazz 6 of 7. The Kings 6 of 7. Daniel Marshall left UConn a year early. Again as a lottery pick of Minnesota, then went to Golden State, now with the Utah Jazz. 7 points for Daniel Marshall. All have come in this 2nd quarter.
They're only down 7 points right there, and that's a good substitution. Jerry Sloan to make sure John Stockton doesn't get his 3rd foul at the last minute.
Rusty LaRue is in. Marshall guarding Weber. Rebound by Russell. Sacramento is shooting 42%. Malone, Kirilenko. Half-minute to play in the 1st half. The quick double with Weber, who steals the ball. And out to Stojakovic.
Well, he's just overpowering Kirilenko and Daniel Marshall when they try to post up. That's why I believe you've got to get Karl Malone going inside, because of his strength and because of how he throws down.
Oh, and a great pass by Doug Christie. The 2nd beauty he's offered in the 1st half tonight.
A beautiful pass and a great catch again, and finished by Weber. Weber started it too with a great defensive play on Kirilenko down at the other end, getting the steal.
Weber's got 8 in the quarter and 12 for the game. The Kings were never trailed and led by 12, lead by 9. A free by Russell. He's got 6. That takes us to halftime. What do you think, John?
Well, I think the aggressiveness is very obvious on the part defensively of the Kings, and they're doing a great job. Weber is going inside with power now, and the aggressiveness is coming from the Kings.
Peja Stojakovic, 18 points, 5 of 6 from the field. He's standing by with our Craig Sager.
Well, Kevin mentioned 5 of the 6 from the field. The first 3 games you struggled. Where'd you find your shot?
I did. I finally found my stroke. My teammates kept looking at me all throughout the series. And today I first got finally found my stroke, and I feel good. And hopefully we all gonna keep shooting well second half.
You've had big leads in this first half, but it's down to just 6. Are you worried?
Well, that's the style Utah is playing, you know. They're going to slow down the game and try to keep the game on a low score. And we just have to keep out there and take care of the defensive board and play the Kings basketball.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Kevin.
A guy who grew up in Yugoslavia dreaming of playing professional soccer. He's now in the NBA and leading the top seed in the Western Conference, the Sacramento Kings with 18 points. Ernie Johnson, it's an elimination game here in Utah tonight with the Kings on top by 6 as we send it to you in Atlanta.
Thank you, Kevin. Just the second time in the series that the Kings have had the halftime lead. In Game 3, they were up 46-45. Here it is 46-40. They lead it over the Utah Jazz. Welcome to the AT&T Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Peter Vesey, and our guest for the evening, Alan Houston. What?
Contact.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something I said. Glad to know it wasn't. 46-40 is the score, and they finally get Peja Stojakovic off. 18 points in the first half because he has struggled. What else has struck you?
Danny hit it. I was thinking it, and he said it. You know, you would think that the way the game has been going, that Sacramento was up about 15, 17 points. But they really have not been able to separate themselves from Utah. And one of the funny things I noticed about Utah, everyone says they slow it down, they slow it down. Yeah, they do. But they sneak break you. They'll break, and you don't know that they're actually breaking. Here off a steal, Jock Stockton is pushing it up. This is a controlled break, however. He stops at the free throw line like a great point guard does. They move the ball around, and they get a fast break opportunity off of a controlled break. But he's pushing it up and getting into his spots as quickly as possible, which they sneak break you.
Mailman 6 on just 3 out of 10. Impressions of the first 24 minutes, Alan.
Well, you know, my impression of Sacramento this whole year has been they've played much better defense than they have in the past, and I think that's evident tonight. They're playing much better defense, and even though Utah sneak breaking them, they still are giving themselves a chance because they're playing good defense. And Utah is the type of team, you know, you see what you're going to get every night. But Sacramento, you see what they're going to do because they're going to move the ball well. They're going to play solid defense.
Double-digit lead has been cut to 6, 46-40 here at the break, Pete.
Nobody's surfaced yet for the Jazz as a scorer. I mean, they got 10 guys who've scored, but nobody in double figures, where the Kings have 2 guys, Stojakovic and Weber, who are the go-to guys. So for the Jazz to pull this game out, and I agree, they've definitely taken the Kings' best punches so far, and they're still in it. But somebody or two, probably 2 people, are going to have to surface offensively for them to win it.
Daniel Marshall leads Utah with 7 in the first half. When we come back, Game 4 of the Eastern first rounder, would it be the finale between the Pistons and the Raptors? And what's the story with this post-game attire? We'll explore.
The AT&T Halftime Report is brought to you by AT&T, proud sponsor of the NBA.
Encourage a lifelong love of reading. Read to achieve.
As my friend Sergio from Rio says.
Excuse me, did you say Sergio? From Rio.
Yes?
Your darkish, lightish hair? About this high? Heavy set, thin guy?
You know Sergio?
Yeah.
Come join us! Wait. Let's go see Sergio.
Smirnoff Ice Premium Malt Beverage. Drink responsibly.
Now is the best time to join America Online.
AOL is very easy to use.
Anyone can do it.
You've got mail.
I love AOL email.
Click and send. Everybody I know is on AOL.
I do feel good knowing that AOL has parental controls.
AOL is already installed on most computers, probably even yours. Just look for the AOL icon on your desktop, click, and you're on. It's that easy.
Welcome.
It's the best thing we ever did. America Online is closer than you think. Look for the AOL icon today right on your computer or call 1-800-4ONLINE. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
At Michelin, our tires are rigorously tested. They're laser checked, X-rayed for structural integrity. And finally, no tire leaves the factory without a thorough hand inspection. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
We don't have to insist on 100% pure beef, but we do. We don't have to insist on only the highest quality ingredients, but we do. Why? Because sometimes doing more than you have to is the absolute right thing to do.
Hey, you want to see how powerful Sunkist really is? Watch this. Oh, girls. This might take a while. Sunkist, experience the charge.
Today, Italian.
Sir?
Oh, what is it?
I think most of us are in the mood for Chinese.
No, we're doing Italian.
I feel like steak.
How about Mexican?
Nope. How about pasta? Pasta is Italian.
Hey, let's all do whatever we feel like.
The Fridays take on menus: steak, Asian, Southwestern, or Italian, like our new chicken bruschetta pasta. Eat what you love where you eat at Fridays.
AT&T halftime report continues from Studio A. Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight. Game 4 of the Detroit-Toronto series. Toronto trying to stay alive. Look at the ball movement here.
They're trying to stay alive and cap the series.
Antonio,
we'll get back to that.
Antonio Davis, nice subtle foreshadowing of what's about to come, 35-25. Keon Clark against Ben Wallace there, 44-36. John Barry hit a couple of threes to start Detroit's comeback. They're down 76-71. But then it's Alvin Williams with the tough runner inside, and the Toronto Raptors are sending this thing back to Detroit.
It didn't rain on their parade.
For a fifth and deciding game, 89-83, the Raptors over the Pistons.
There's a theme going.
Detroit wins the first 2 games, and then they lose the next 2. Let's go to Corliss Williamson for some post-game thoughts.
Cap it up.
I still think we're a better basketball team, but tonight and Saturday we weren't. We didn't show that, and we have to get back to playing Piston basketball if we're going to advance.
How do you assess Game 5?
There's no way to assess. You know, if you lose, you're going home for the summer, crying about what if, and we have to bring it Thursday night and come and play with some pride.
How do you assess the headgear is the next question.
Wait. First of all,
you think anybody heard what he said,
No.
or they were just laughing at
I just
home?
know in our
They were
room
just-
back there, it came on.
well, you
and
cannot be big nasty wearing a shower cap. But he actually sent one over to you, Ernie. He's like,
No, I am not
okay.
wearing.
But no, other you can't. First of all, they don't even have these in the arena. So he had to bring this
From the hotel.
to the hotel.
From the hotel.
So that's what makes it even more scary, that he actually bought it to the arena. Okay, he wears it. Then he thought about it and said, you know what? I'm going to wear it on camera.
Right.
This isn't going to be shown
Big
anywhere, is it?
I got a new nickname for him.
What is it?
Half man, half mascara.
Oh.
Okay. Wow, taking it a
Big
little
nasty.
bit, possibly
I'm only kidding, man.
too far. Yeah.
I've seen what he's done out on the court. No,
Hey,
thank you.
why did Toronto win this game?
We talked about the beginning because my panel did not think that they could win, but
Your peeps.
my peeps did not think that they would be able to win today. But I saw happy feet, what I call
Happy feet.
and on the Detroit Pistons. They win because they out-hustle you. They beat you to loose balls, blocks, deflections. No hustle plays. And here's where the key play of the game. Alvin Williams misses his jump shot. The junkyard dog goes over the top. A hustle play gets them another possession when they really need it. And normally that's
So
Ben
explain
Wallace.
happy feet.
Happy feet is when you win a game. And you come out the next game and thinking your skill level won the game and not the fact that you play hard. And they were just going through the motion. They were a little happy, and their feet were happy.
Little scary here if you're the number 2 seed and you had a chance to sweep them and didn't, had a chance to put them away again. You don't, and now it all comes down to one game. Yeah, it is in your place, but it's one game, Alan.
It's one game, deciding game. It comes down to that. And, you know, the thing about, that's the thing about home court. That's why you fight for home court, because it comes down to this. And so now Detroit can go back, be on their home court, and feel comfortable, but at the same time, it can get a little scary because, last 2 or 3 minutes.
For a game-winning shot.
You never know what can happen.
You never know what can happen. Hi, Ellen.
Hey, I think with the Pistons, all their numbers from the big guys are down, particularly Stackhouse. 5 for 18 again tonight. He had 5 turnovers. I mean, everybody was down. The only guy that was up, I think, was Chucky Atkins. So they're going home. He's got to attack the rim, Stackhouse. He's got to have the overall game, and he's got to take his team there.
Stackhouse 8 for 28 in the 2 games in Toronto, just a shade over 28%.
Get to that free throw line, Stack.
Back to wrap things up on the AT&T halftime report in just a minute.
Just in case you're drinking in the shower.
He's under the shower cap.
The one-of-a-kind insights of the Jet. We'll be back.
We weren't technically a garage band since we practiced in a barn.
We still make a lot of noise, only now it's on the phone.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited.
Luckily, I pay one flat rate and we talk till we're hoarse.
$19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any AT&T residential long-distance customer. Call all you want, whenever you want, and never watch the clock.
I love them, but I'm not going to pay a lot to listen to them. Nobody ever did.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
The rules have changed. Now there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. A new anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a new strip releases even more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. It's turning the shaving world upside down. The revolutionary new Mach 3 Turbo. From Gillette, the best a man can get.
You're about to be treated like no man before. New Gillette Series Shave Gel with ingredients like tea tree oil to invigorate. You get a close shave and healthy-looking skin. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection in a wipe.
This is the place where I can build my cabin and get away from it all with a little help from my all-new Suzuki Quadrunner Eiger 400. I didn't spend much, and it's got all the features I need, so I can build my cabin and get away from it all. Get into the great outdoors. Get back to nature. Get back on my Eiger. Get some ice. Get some x-rays. Get a contractor.
Now choose reduced financing like 2.95% APR or up to $400 in free accessories.
One frontier, one battle. Animaga doesn't take his chance. A coward. One king.
Know damn well what kind of man I am.
Patrick Stewart, King of Texas. See the world premiere Sunday, June 2nd at 8 on TNT.
Welcome back to the AT&T halftime report. Hornets and Magic, Nets and Pacers, the TBS doubleheader tomorrow, and then Wednesday the Celtics and Sixers and the Spurs and Sonics in a pair of Game 4 starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. What's the well-dressed best 6 men in the league wearing these days after the game? Right there, you got it.
They're under the shower we cap.
The AT&T Halftime Report has been brought to you by AT&T, proud sponsor of the NBA.
Encourage a lifelong love of reading. Read to achieve.
I won a gold and silver medal at the Winter Olympics.
He showed me how to use this thing.
I brought home the gold.
She helped me get rid of my grubs.
I won the silver.
He taught me the importance of primer.
My team won the gold.
She helped me find one of those flappy things.
Our associates do great things every day. To join the team, give the Home Depot a call.
Why be plain when you could be crunchy?
Plain chocolate? Not in Shaq's house. When he's got to have chocolate, only creamy, crispy Nestle Crunch will do.
It's crunch time.
Subway has a new bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, Subway's this way!
Subway's new Honey Oat on Wheat starts with tasty wheat bread. Then we coat it with honey and oats and bake it all together.
Subway, eat fresh!
2 points is 2 points.
Don't be a show-off.
I don't care if you slam dunk. I don't care if you shoot a layup.
2 points is 2 points.
All you gotta do is take a short shot, box out, rebound. You ain't got to dunk on everybody.
Forget about the theatrics.
All you getting for that is two.
You ain't scored 2 points your whole life.
Who you gonna listen to? How about yourself? Obey your thirst. Sprite.
Hey, yo, Kobe, you think you getting some tickets?
Courtside?
Yeah.
Come on!
I need a car. No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Autotrader.com. With 2 million new or used cars, you can find the one you really want. And with millions of shoppers, you can sell the one you already have. It's the ultimate automotive classified site. Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
The new Dodge SXTs, CD sound, aluminum wheels, and some cash left over.
What's the date?
CD sound, wheels, up to $1335 in package savings, plus our 7/100 powertrain pledge, the Dodge SXTs.
When you travel on business, don't downsize. Amerisize at AmeriSuites. Need more room to spread out? Get more workspace and features like high-speed internet access, plus more space to unwind in a comfortable suite for the price of an ordinary hotel room. And when it comes to breakfast, don't downsize. Amerisize. Get AmeriSuites' free Bountiful Breakfast Buffet every morning. Next time, check into AmeriSuites. Don't downsize. Amerisize.
Uncover the perfect cover-up. Absolute Power. Saturday night at 8 on TNT.
We weren't technically a garage band since we practiced in a barn. We still make a lot of noise, only now it's on the phone.
Introducing AT&T Unlimited.
Luckily, I pay one flat rate and we talk till we're hoarse.
$19.95 a month for unlimited long-distance calls to any AT&T residential long-distance customer. Call all you want, whenever you want, and never watch the clock.
I love them, but I'm not going to pay a lot to listen to them. Nobody ever did.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT to enroll.
In the old days, athlete's foot meant using Lotrimin AF or Tenactin for 4 whole weeks.
Who does that? Today, they're out. Because Lamisil AT changed everything. Lamisil AT kills the fungus with just 1 week's use.
Do you really have 4 weeks to use those other guys?
When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Those old-timers, they don't promise that.
It's in a league all its own.
Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
Bringing us closer, making us stronger, impacting our lives in remarkable ways. Tech TV, the new television network about technology. Tech TV, television about technology.
Tech TV is available now on DirecTV, channel 354.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast, or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Salt Lake City is still shining after the Olympics. Welcome back to the NBA playoffs on TNT. Utah has never led. A frustrating first half for the Jazz as we hear inside the huddle in this Lamisil moment.
You got to get a break somewhere. Just stay with it, go. Set better, set good screens. Make sure you nail it. Get cuts to the basket. Rebound the ball. We're not going after the ball down there. We're just shooting it and letting it go. Let's just let this one slip.
Well, we're back here courtside. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge. John, all the problems they've gone through, they're still only down by 6 points at halftime.
Well, that's true, but I still don't think they have a lot to rejoice about because they're playing against a great team. That's just like playing against a heavyweight fighter who sees your chin is open. Sooner or later, he's going to pick the spot to knock you out of here.
Do the Sacramento Kings, Danny, have that knockout punch tonight?
I think they do. I think they're starting to play with confidence, especially Peja Stojakovic. He came out on fire, was scoring in every which way. Scoring on the fast break, taking it all the way to the basket. In the half court, he was scoring, driving to the hole through double teams. And he was knocking down the perimeter, deep shots coming off the pick. So he's feeling very confident right now, and I feel he's going to continue.
And let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, you may look at the scoreboard and see Sacramento up by 6. Jerry Sloan looked at the stat sheet. He told his team we're up by 4. We are winning the battle of the boards, 22-18. He wasn't happy with the early unforced errors, but he said, guys, we're going to win this game by rebounding and defense. The key is put a body on Peja Stojakovic. Kirilenko will start on him. Russell and Padgett will get their turns. Kevin?
All right, Craig, we start the second half. Stockton, Malone, Russell with the ball, Collins and Kirilenko out there. And a big shot to begin the second half by Karl Malone, who's got 8 points.
Well, that's how they're going to win the game. Your stars have got to feel good about themselves and be aggressive. Carl's got to get into the flow because he's been the man for him. John's got to get into the flow, and then the rest of the guys will fill in.
Mike Bibby took a contorted shot out there with Divac, Stojakovic, Christie, and Weber. And here comes Stockton floating inside. It's a 2-point game.
Unbelievable play by Stockton in the fast break. And like Coach said, the 2 stars came out, first 2 big baskets, get this crowd back into the game. Malone, I thought he passed up some easy opportunities in the first half. Open jump shots like we just had.
Collins picks up the foul. That's the second on the rookie from Stanford. Nice way to start the second half, though, for Hall of Famer to be John Stockton.
Look how poised he is. You know, just keeps Bibby on his back, does a good job, and just leans in, keeps going. No one stops him. That's a tough shot.
It's a very tough shot, but that's why both of those guys, both Malone and Stockton, have to play well in order for this team to be successful.
Weber has gone 6 of 14. Karl Malone gets his second rebound. Here comes John Stockton, who is 2 of 5. Stockton with 5 assists in the game. Malone. Russell by Christie, wiggles inside, and a foul. It's on Sacramento. Divac was in there covering. Weber was as well. Weber picks up his second personal foul.
Russell's done a great job of penetrating right there and probe to try to get a foul out of it because the Kings have done an excellent job, particularly in the first half, closing up the lane.
Utah just so much more aggressive right now. And Russell got away with a travel right there, but here's the numbers. Field goal percentage, Sacramento's still leading, but Utah's creeping back up after a slow start, but the 12 turnovers have really hurt Utah.
And look at the bench of Utah, John. They have definitely been a force in the first half.
Well, and that bench has to be a force. When they come out, they've got to have an impact because the Kings bench, if they're playing with them, are very aggressive.
We got our first tie tonight. Weber against Collins, double by Kirilenko. Here comes Bibby, Stockton defending there. Inside Divac. Out of bounds, off Sacramento.
Divac is so big, he's busy falling down, trying to get a call. The ball would have came right to him for an easy lay-in if he'd just stayed on his feet.
And sooner or later, you're absolutely correct, Danny. Sooner or later, the referees get wind to that, and they're not going to call it.
Malone. Kirilenko. Into Collins, guarded by Divac. And for the lead. This is Utah's first lead tonight.
And this isn't part of the game in Game 3 where Mike Bibby came up big. Hit the silencers for this Sacramento team.
It's Christie into Russell. And a foul call. Brian Russell was defended. Brian Russell picks up the foul. That's the first on him. This is not the way the Sacramento Kings, trying to close out this series, thought the second half would start.
Well, but it is a good way to start the half when both Malone and Stockton started off. Then you start having the other guys who are the supporting players pick up confidence and play with more confidence.
Divac gets the rebound. Weber trying to push his way inside and a foul. And Collins again was right in the path. And he picks up his third. So Ostertag will come off the bench and take the rookie's place.
Well, he's doing a good job. He doesn't care about foul trouble right now. He's just trying to make Weber shoot something over him. Weber trying to get the foul. Excellent hustle by Vlade and a beautiful pass. Weber finally got to the free throw line. What he's been looking for.
Weber, with his first trip to the free throw line tonight during the season, a 75% free throw shooter.
They've got to be a force inside. I love the energy I saw Vlade right there, coming from the free throw line to keep that ball alive on the glass and give this opportunity to quiet the crowd.
Ostertag has been taken back off and on the bench, and they're going to leave Collins in with the 3 fouls.
Well, Collins is not going to finish the game. They don't care how many minutes they get out of him. He's starting the game, and they're trying to use him to be physical as he possibly can and not worry about foul trouble.
Tied again for the second time, Collins. Russell.
Russell's arguing with the official. He's better go ahead and just go ahead and play right now.
They go into Collins and out to Russell. Great fake. Christie bit the 2-point shot. Kirilenko tried to tap it in. And it's out of bounds and off the Sacramento Kings. A fresh shot clock. and 9:18 to play in the third quarter.
Well, as the Utah Jazz tend to become more aggressive on the offensive board, the Kings had better become far more conscious of touching them and boxing them out of there.
I think they had Kirilenko boxed out that time. I think the guy reaches 10 feet with those arms. He's just reaching over the top of Stojakovic. They got to be more physical with him.
Well, and you got to go meet him. You can't let him get close to the basket.
That's a throwaway by Kirilenko. Nobody for Utah is in double figures. Christie spoon feeds Weber. What a play!
That was spectacular. What a great finish by Weber. 6'11" guy running down the court, reverse dunking, but the catch and the pass by Christie's awesome. But you can see when Stockton penetrates on the last play, I've never seen Vlade dive on the floor like that in my life.
Jump ball, Malone and Divac, and now still struggling with the ball. And it's Weber just putting his 16th point. And the two have got to be separated. And that's what the playoffs are all about.
Christie pushing the ball up the court. He sees Weber the whole time and just waiting for the opportunity to release the ball to him. But excellent finish in traffic and has to go up to avoid the shot block. Just a little 180 dunk on the run.
That was beautiful.
He even gave the little nasty look at himself. He was impressed.
He knew it was wicked. They're chanting Vlade. With the Sacramento Kings up by 2, they led by 12. Christie has 6 assists, which is a career playoff high. And he's looked every bit the star passer tonight. Stojakovic with 18 and now 20.
Well, that was a heck of a shot, too, because he was being guarded very closely by Collins, who's taller than he was and was right up on him in his face.
Utah shooting 44%. The Kings shooting 44% as well. Karl Malone. And a rebound by Divac. Utah +4 in rebounding. Christie. Bibby. Russell with the rebound.
Bibby really struggling with his outside shot. That's one of the best parts of his game. Just can't get enough looks to get any rhythm.
Kirilenko took it inside. Lost the ball. Picked up by Weber. And now a 3-on-2. Bibby selects Christie. Goes back to Bibby inside. Russell broke it up. Players down. Kings back on defense. Stockton will slow it up until Kirilenko can get back to the other end of the floor.
So you've got to love the intensity out here because there's a lot of bodies on the floor.
Christie with the foul. And that is the third on him.
Well, Stojakovic is trying to use Weber as a screen, but right here, he doesn't use a screen. He just stepped back. When that guy starts making shots like that, he's one of the best at making tough shots. Right here, we got to tangle up. Bibby's leg whipping.
In the NFL, that's a foul.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Here comes Malone. Stockton tries to winnow his way inside. And a 3-second violation. And they call it inside on the rookie Collins. And the turnovers now 15 for the Jazz and 9 for the Kings.
But it's also a perfect example of the Kings' defense. When you see these guys, they're supporting, and you look, Stockton is coming off, but Vlade does a great job of going over there and trapping and closing up that baseline.
Weber's got it with 16, gives off to Stojakovic, back to Christie. Nice feed, Stojakovic for 3, bullseye!
Well, he continues that hot shooting when he gets his confidence going, and that first quarter was huge for Stojakovic. Great pass by Doug Christie, sharing the ball.
Sacramento on a 9-0 run after Utah had their only lead of the game.
Well, and they've shown a lot of courage, too, because they took Utah's best punch and then retaliated it.
Jaron Collins, who tonight has gone 4 of 4 with the rebound and 8 points in 10 minutes, Danny. Not bad for the rookie.
And just like a heavyweight fight, these guys are going at it. And I think with the depth that Sacramento has with Pollard and Jackson coming off the bench, that they should be able to withstand it a little longer.
What a play by Kirilenko to break up that pass, much to the surprise of Chris Weber, who just was tagged with his 3rd personal foul.
Well, Stojakovic passes, get Vlade, get out of there. This is my territory, the three-point line. Get under the basket where you belong. Great unselfish play.
But how can you leave a guy that shoots the ball that well, that open? You're going to at least be conscious of where he is on the floor.
Kirilenko checks out. Daniel Marshall will check in for the Utah Jazz. Sacramento stays the same. Utah has hit 3 3-point shots.
Daniel Marshall, I believe, is huge. Karl Malone's got to step it up offensively at this from right here on, as does Daniel Marshall. Those are the two best offensive guys they have on the court.
Defense at 3 seconds. Illegal defense of Stockton at the free throw line.
Well, it's very interesting how the Kings responded to the run that was made by Utah. Utah really came at them. The crowd got involved. The Kings are showing some guts in coming back and responding the way they did. They could have very easily laid down at that point.
Here's Stockton 2 of 5, 7 assists and 5 points. Collins on top, picked up by Stojakovic. Shot clock is at 4. It's Marshall to 3, making it 2. He had a foot on the line, a 2-point hit by Daniel Marshall.
And you don't see Utah confused offensively, but that time they were. Daniel Marshall bailed him out.
And a foul called on Chris Webber, and John, that's the 4th on him.
And I wasn't too certain whether that wasn't a great acting job on the part of Collins. You got to give him a lot of credit for doing it. But anytime you play with John Stockton and Karl Malone, you learn to do that very quickly.
In the elimination game, the Utah Jazz alive and kicking.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. Is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore and love.
Exclusively from Chrysler. Our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge, because love is a commitment.
You're on borrowed time to catch 2 of the fastest box office hits of the year.
Good kick, Lee.
Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are back, and they're doing their thing again.
I go that way, you go this way.
In Rush Hour 2. Keep your pedal to the metal on the back streets of Los Angeles.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
For the Fast and the Furious. So head for the on-ramp and grab that remote.
Right now!
Order them both before they leave you in the dust.
At DirecTV, we've made it easier to have your choice of great premium packages. HBO, Stars, Showtime, Cinemax, and Sports Pack. It's only $12 more per month for your first choice, $10 more for your second choice, and so on. The more you buy, the more you save. Now is the perfect time to get those premium channels you want most. Order now at DirecTV.com or call 1-800-DirecTV.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. By Sprite. Obey your thirst. And by the NBA. The playoffs continue. Love it live.
The president's mistress is dead. 2 men know who did it. One is a common thief. The other is the president. Clint Eastwood stars in Absolute Power. Saturday night at 8 on TNT.
Well, the playoffs have been thrilling. Tomorrow on TBS, the Charlotte Hornets take on the Orlando Magic and the New Jersey Nets against Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers. This crew will be in Seattle on Wednesday. The Spurs and the Sonics, preceded by the Celtics and 76ers. This is the home of the NBA playoffs. John Stockton, Marshall, Collins, Malone, and Russell. The Utah 5 after the timeout with a chance to tie. And Malone will try here. Rebound by Christie, taps it off to Bibby. Out there with Christie, Divac, Stojakovic, and Scott Howard back in the game.
And with Webber out of the game, Divac has got to become more aggressive offensively. Rather than just looking to pass, he's got to look a little bit more to score out there.
Webber's got 4 fouls, John, and here comes Bibby. Carving his way inside. Divac from outside, knocks it down. And he's got 6, his first 2 of the second half.
And a great play by Bibby right there. Struggling with his outside shot, goes in to all the way to the basket, draws the Utah defense. They do not like to give up lay-ins, but he'll be able to find open perimeter shooters all night on penetration.
A runner by Daniel Marshall, a rebound by Christie. A 3-on-2. Christie floats to the hole and finger rolls it in.
Nobody stopped the ball in transition right there. Christie very patient, did a John Stockton-like play, a little fake pass. change of pace and got the easy lane in transition.
And Christie's so consistent. He plays so hard at both ends of the floor. You like to see a guy like that do well.
Stockton 2 of 6. Rebound by Pollard. Sacramento is led by 12. Utah by 2. Bibby Stojakovic in the drive. And cleaned up and put in by Scott Pollard, who has 2 points.
Well, see, and that's why they have to watch out for Pollard. Where he may not be the initial offense, he's going to be very aggressive on the weak side. And the Jazz have got to definitely realize he's in there and keep him off of the board.
It's Collins.
And sometimes when Weber goes out, it's better for their offense because Pollard sets better screens and is just going to crash the boards. And it gives Bibby and Stojakovic a chance to roam.
Stockton's got 7 points and 7 assists. Sacramento is at 4, make it 5 3-point shots tonight. 5 of them, 5 of 10. Bibby drives. Pollard pushes it in again. Second time, untouched and uncovered underneath.
Well, and there you go again. It's just like recognizing that Stojakovic is a jump shooter. You got to know that Pollard is a follow-up player. You got to touch him when he comes in the game. It's not just a question of playing team defense. You got to be partial to people's ability out there.
Well, the hard thing was Bibby got all the way to the basket. Shot blockers came late.
And Karl Malone becomes the first Utah player in double figures tonight. He's got 10. Collins has 8. Russell has 8. 9 off the bench from Donyell Marshall. Stockton on Bibby, and Pollard screen. The mismatch on Malone. Now Stockton's on Stojakovic. They double team him with Russell and forces a jump ball. Nice planting defense by the Utah Jazz.
Well, and everything they're getting is right at the rim, which is un-Utah characteristically. Right here, fast break. Right there, tries to take the charge. Big man, there's his guy that he's guarding. And right here, coming over late for the shot block. There he is, out hustling Collins, a rookie. 3 times at the rim.
Well, it's a terrible breakdown in the defense, too, as it happened earlier in the game. Anytime somebody penetrated, they let them go all the way to the basket, but especially now, because when they start substituting, putting guys like Jackson in, Christie already is aggressive. Now you've got Pollard in. Utah's better put some bodies on somebody.
Jackson comes in with 3 fouls. Chris Webber's got 4 fouls. He's on the bench. Jaron Collins has 3 fouls. He's out. And Greg Ostertag has just taken his place. Rusty LaRue takes the place of Stockton. Inside Malone, colliding with Pollard. The ball coughed up. It's a turnover by the mailman. And the turnovers now 16 for Utah, 12 for Sacramento. And that's his night. They'll turn 39 in July. He and Stockton have to will this Utah team to another day.
The cars from Chrysler. So distinct. They have an attraction all their own.
Exclusively from Chrysler. Our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge, because love is a commitment.
You're not the best planner.
Honey, you know how I feel about you and the boys.
I understand. You'll do the best you can. He's your most important client.
I have to take this call. It's Alan.
Love you. Talk to you later.
American Express, The Lion King is a gold card event. I have 4 tickets, front and center.
How did you pull this one off?
Planning.
It was 1969. Peace, love, and music were in the air. And these guys?
Anyone see my slide rule?
Were nowhere near it.
Give it a whirl.
They were busy developing what would become the internet. As the internet evolved, so have we. BVN became GTE Internetworking, and today, we're Genuity, providing e-business solutions from the people who started it all. Genuity.
It happens in the blink of an eye. That defining moment in every game. When that moment comes, will you have ice in your veins?
It's here. It's clear. New Gatorade Ice.
Let's take a peek in at our American Express leaderboard with Sacramento on top here by 663 to 57. John Stockton tonight appearing in his 184th playoff game. He has played in the playoffs every year since the 84-85 season. 18 playoffs is an NBA record. And no one gives more dignity to the game than the game, a better name than John Stockton.
Most underappreciated star ever to play basketball, in my opinion. It's because of his demeanor and the fact that he plays in Salt Lake City, I think.
Malone just picked up his second personal foul.
Well, why do you say he's not appreciated?
Well, because I don't think that people recognize him as much. I mean, I think the players in the league and the coaches in the league appreciate him.
They do. I think
but I don't think the fans, he has as much fanfare.
All-time assist leader, all-time steals leader. And John, the airwaves here, the newspaper headlines, all in heavy speculation that this indeed will be John Stockton's last game, last series. Malone says he wants to continue a year or two more, but for Stockton right now, that is what the talk is.
Well, I believe Stockton will play again. If it's based on his performance, you know, you have to think that the guy is capable of playing. We emphasize so much his age. I know a lot of guys who are a lot younger who can't do what he's doing right now, so why should he leave just because he's 40? His performance is excellent.
Stojakovic with the game-high 25, 16 for Weber on the bench with 4 fouls. LaRue is in, Ostertag, Paget. Malone tried to flip it down the lane, a backdoor cut for LaRue, knocked out of bounds, 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, we know Karl Malone's going to stick around. He's got a chance to break the all-time scoring record. But the way he's scoring right now, it might take him a few years.
Well, that's the thing. I think that he needs to most definitely become more aggressive offensively, even if he's missing, because he's the focal point of this. So he's becoming a playmaker out there. I'd love to see him doing a heck of a lot more attacking out there.
But Malone's night has been dismal. 5 of 15, not a single free throw attempt, and we're talking about a player who has attempted and made more free throws than any player in the history of the game.
Well, you know, I played against Karl in the playoffs, and with a lot of games, it depends on how the officials are calling it. When they're going for those flops like they were in Game 3, he gets to the free throw line. But right now, he's going in, initiating contact on the inside, and he's not getting the calls.
Sacramento foul is assessed inside. Vlade Divac picks up his third of the game. As you take a look at Karl Malone, only 10 points tonight, only 2 rebounds.
He's always been able to adjust his game, though. You know, he's become more of a jump shooter as he's gotten older, and he's a great jump shooter. I think he just needs to learn to. I think he needs to look to score a little bit more in their half-court sets.
Well, particularly right now, because that's where confidence factors involved. He's the star of the team. Like now, he's looking to pass off into the rather than to set himself up.
Shot clock with the second shot clock violation. Good Kings defense.
There's some players that you feel a heck of a lot better about their misses if they're the stars of the team. I'd rather him miss than a lot of other people miss out there, but be more aggressive offensively right now.
Well, I agree, especially with Stockton out of the game.
Sacramento shooting 47%. Jackson flies down the lane. Stripped of the ball. It's Sacramento's ball with 12 seconds on the shot clock. 1:42 remaining in the third quarter.
Good defensive play right there by Rusty LaRue. Unfortunate that they didn't get the ball back. Bobby Jackson very aggressive. I think Sacramento still needs to go from side to side. They still try to attack from the strong side too much.
Stojakovic with 25. Oh, he's on fire tonight with 27 points, 80% from the field, 9 offered here in the third quarter.
Well, he's saying, Andre Kirilenko, I still reign as the best European player. He's not going to let him shut him down again.
Utah shooting 41%. Jackson picks up his 4th foul right there. The poor shooting, John, of Sacramento was a huge story coming into this game 4 tonight. 48%. Stojakovic is back on track, and that is making a difference for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, and I think what was very important is the way Pages started off. That's the point I'm trying to make about Karl Malone, that anytime a guy that you depend on for offense is going well, other guys who with lesser ability become more confident. Pages started off so well that alleviates a lot of the pressure on the guys who aren't great shooters.
Utah at the free throw line, 11 of 13, and Sacramento 10 of 11.
And Page is not a guy that takes long to gain that confidence back. He's a shooter. He's a born shooter. But, you know, Bobby Jackson picking up his 4th foul could be a factor. This might be a struggle from the outside. He's wearing a back brace and shoot around this morning and hurt his back right at the end of the half. So they would like Jackson to give him some good minutes.
Well, just missed a 3 right there, and he jousts with LaRue in the backcourt. And here they come with Brian Russell finding Ostertag. And out to Paget, into Daniel Marshall.
But this is what you don't see with the Jazz. They're very stagnant, their offense. A lot of talking's going on. It's just not flowing the way it usually does.
Ostertag fighting inside. As good a playoffs as he's had in a while. 6 points, 7 rebounds in 12 minutes.
As good a playoffs as he's ever had. I love his energy and his enthusiasm. The crowd is on him, is good, rooting for him finally. And most of the time they're booing Greg Ostertag, but how many offensive rebounds will they give him on that last possession? Hopefully just one.
A star is born, right?
I always believe that fans are more inclined to fall in love with players with passion than they are with talent. Ostertag is a guy that's playing extremely hard in this playoff.
LaRue against Jackson. Doubled by Pollard and outside Paget for 3. Rebound Marshall. He's going to press it tonight. Ostertag tried to tap it. Paget in there. Up and out. And Ostertag puts it in. Greg Ostertag has brought Utah to within 5. A steal by Russell, and good as it goes. What an ending to the 3rd quarter.
And what a lift Greg Ostertag's given him. I never thought I'd say it, but he's been the difference in that little stretch.
I never thought you'd say it either. I'm glad to hear you say it.
Kevin, he's from your alma mater.
He's a Kansas Jayhawk, but here comes Stojakovic, rolling with 27 tonight. The Delta Center has been on their feet all night long. It's an elimination game. The Jazz have got to win to stay alive. We go to the 4th. They're down by 5.
The NBA and WNBA continue to write new chapters to the Read to Achieve story.
Okay, let's read.
With each turn of the page, players and coaches are encouraging families to open a book with their children.
You like this book? All right.
And by donating computers and books to create reading and learning centers, the NBA is helping kids develop a lifelong love of reading.
Read to Achieve!
Be a part of the success and Read to Achieve.
The closer you get, the more extreme it gets. The most extreme V-twins on the planet. VTX from Honda.
No time for a splitting headache. I needed strong pain relief fast. So I took control with Advil liquid gels. Liquid-filled capsules that relieve tough pain faster than Tylenol. And nothing, not Excedrin, not Aleve, nothing's proven stronger on pain than Advil liquid gels. My headache was gone, fast.
You have the strength to get rid of pain fast. Take control. Take Advil. And to help you take control of your child's fever fast, there's Children's Advil and Infant's Advil.
Check this out. Bob here needs a car.
Whoa. How about a pickup? A black one. With a place for my bike.
With 2 million new and used cars, you're sure to find the one you want at Autotrader.com.
Need a loan?
Oh, yeah. Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
It happens in the blink of an eye. That defining moment in every game. When that moment comes, will you have ice in your veins?
It's here. It's clear. New Gatorade Ice.
Sounds like a good thing. Budget is really working hard to improve truck rental.
Yeah, rates starting in 1995. And a service where our movers help load and unload the trucks.
Can we make load and unload even better?
Roller skates to make the move even faster.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need roller skates.
Yeah, no, not roller skates, but load and unload.
Was that your idea? That's a terrific idea.
You're watching the playoffs of the NBA on TNT, downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, Craig Sager. Utah has led by as many as 2. The Kings have led by 12. And now our budget fast break. And on a night where Karl Malone has scored 10 and John Stockton has scored 8, John, it has been the bench points of Utah which has kept them buoyant tonight.
Well, in particular, Ostertag. He's been a spiritual leader, too, as well as being physically out there, being aggressive and playing.
Can you believe what you just said? Ostertag, a spiritual leader?
Well, he's fired up. I mean, he has everybody going. I'm sure Ainge won't agree with that.
No, I will agree with that, actually. He's got 8 points and 9 rebounds in only 13 minutes. That's more production than he usually gets in 30 minutes, so he's been huge.
Russell with Marshall, Stockton, Ostertag and Page on top. Malone is on the bench. Brian Russell for 2. Ostertag trying to keep it alive and does. Playing with more passion and more emotion than we have probably ever seen the big Texan play with.
Well, I think the big fella's kind of pleased with his own performance out here tonight, the way he's acting. But isn't it a difference when John Stockton is in the game, how fluid that Utah offense runs? They become a little stagnant and question each other when he's not in the game.
And Chris Webber's back in the game with 4 fouls. Got to be very careful.
Marshall is short. Rebound by Ostertag, has now got 10 rebounds tonight. Jackson trying for the steal, but John Stockton outraces him to the ball.
Well, and that's just knowledge. He cut him off with his body. Jackson probably is much quicker than Stockton is.
Pollard along with Turkoglu, Jackson, Webber, and Christie, the 5 for Sacramento as we start this 4th quarter.
Why didn't Brian Russell shoot that shot? He was wide open from the 3-point line with guys on the inside.
Webber draws the double, kicks it outside. Jackson, Stockton came up with great help defense right there. Rotating out to Jackson. Christie to Turkoglu, shot clock at 1 with 2 on his mind and a foul. Paget draws the foul. That's the 3rd on him.
Well, in looking at this, I mean, Stockton cuts him off with his body, which is smart, rather than trying to outrun him, and that's experience. That's the difference between a younger player who would just try to outrun Jackson.
Well, we have said this is an elimination game for John Stockton and Karl Malone, and since '86, these are the numbers. Karl Malone will come back in. Paget will leave. The first free throw by Turkoglu is no good. And Turkoglu from the free throw line, 72% this season. Danny, before you said maybe it's better with Webber on the bench than in the game.
Well, I don't mean that all the time. I mean, when you get stagnant, a lot of times you go to your star exclusively, and your offense really breaks down and slows down. And you saw what happened. Pollard comes right in and gets those easy 2 baskets. And sometimes when you rely on your star too much, that's all I was saying. They need Webber to play good to win in the playoffs.
Karl Malone, short again. Rebound by Ostertag, gobbling up the Malone miss. Malone 5 of 16, Ostertag 12 rebounds.
They also need Webber to box out Ostertag. He's destroying him on the board.
Well, that's a terrible pass by Russell. Trying to throw the ball to Daniel Marshall. Marshall didn't have the guy sealed. That's a lost art in being able to hit the post and know which side to throw the ball on.
Webber sets a nice screen. Ostertag collects his 13th rebound, but they throw it away. Christie timed the lane. Take it away. It is a foul called on Ostertag.
Well, that's not a very smart play by Ostertag. Not only does he make a bad pass, but he knows he's inside the dotted line. So you got to make sure Christie makes free throws. Go for the block. You don't take a charge when you're 7'2". Block the shot.
Is this man insane or what? You don't take a charge when you're 7'2". You probably took it in the wrong place, but you can take a charge when you're 7'2".
Yeah, but if you're inside the basket and you're a goalie.
If you're 5'2", you don't block shots either, do you?
No, you take charges. Or if you're like me and you can't touch the rim, you take charges.
71-62 Sacramento. A win tonight, they clinch the first-round series and get ready for Dallas. Utah 0-5 in this quarter shooting. Marshall saves it. Turkoglu bobbles it, but then reels it in. And here comes a 4-on-3. Turkoglu with a trailing Chris Webber. And Webber now has put in 18 points. He has gone 8 of 17 from the field.
And a quiet 18 points, too. You know, Webber's one of those guys, he can fill up the stat sheet. Big basket right there in transition, and Hito had behind his head eyes, as Kirilenko calls it.
All right, the Sacramento Kings have an 11-point lead, their biggest since early in the game.
It's just the same old thing. I need adventure, excitement. I'm suffocating.
Okay. You can drive.
Spice things up. The Hyundai Santa Fe. V6 power, full-time four-wheel drive, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. The Santa Fe.
Don't even think about it.
Experience NBA.com on America Online. See the best action shots and off-the-court photos every night at America Online. Keyword NBA.com.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you? Now, what are you doing? You don't be silly. You look just fine. You don't need any work done. You're aging just beautifully. Just leave yourself alone.
Buonasera. Buonasera. What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. Coming.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation that this could be John Stockton's last game if Utah loses. His high school, grade school coach, Kerry Pickett, is in attendance. That fueled the speculation. The media here locally had a field day. But Kerry Pickett is here because he's the godfather of John Stockton's daughter, Lindsay, who had her first communion on Sunday. I talked to him moments ago. I asked him if he thought this was John's last game. He says no. He said nobody outcompetes him on the floor now. He's sort of like Ponce de Leon. I said, when did you start coaching him? He said, when he went into 6th grade. I said, do you think he'd be this good? He said, nobody did, but I knew he was a great competitor. I took him to the AAU Nationals. They had a kid who was one of the best high school players I ever saw in my life, Isaiah Thomas, and John Stockton went toe-to-toe with him. Kevin?
Great story. Thank you, Craig. And here we go. 9:20 to play. Fourth quarter. Karl Malone, 5 of 16, only 10 points. Danielle Marshall's put in 9. Malone again. Uncovered. That time he nails it.
Well, that's what they need. He's got to come forward offensively and be really aggressive right now.
12 points from Malone. Utah shooting 37%. Sacramento shooting 47%. Turkoglu into traffic. And a bad pass to Weber. Jackson tries to save it, but goes right to Ostertag. Down court to Malone. 3-on-1.
Ostertag right there. He came all the way to the three-point line to steal that ball.
Well, that was a heck of a play for a big guy.
And Utah has their first field goal of the fourth quarter. Chris Weber. Rebound inside, fought for off the fingertips of Powers. Back to the Utah Jazz.
Ostertag comes all the way from the basket to intercept the ball. Anticipate Ostertag. Cover the ground. Yeah, that's a lot of ground to cover for a big, slow guy.
Well, I tell you, you do have to give him, all jokes aside, you do have to give him a lot of credit because he's playing outstanding tonight.
Utah plus 11 in rebounding.
And he's been playing outstanding throughout this whole series.
Bad pass by Malone. Ricochets off the fingertips of Marshall. Here comes Jackson. Turnover number 19 for the Utah Jazz. 14 for Sacramento. Turkoglu weaving and dropping the foul call. That's going to go on Stockton for the third time. So Ostertag has certainly been a story tonight. 8 points, 13 rebounds in 17 minutes.
Well, and he's doing everything out on the floor. I like the range of things that he's doing. He's stealing balls, he's rebounding, he's scoring, and he's even contributing by communicating.
Hey, John, out of the 13 rebounds, 9 have been offensive rebounds tonight.
Well, and that's what they need. They need that from him because they need to be far more aggressive inside. They haven't been able to get as many baskets inside as I anticipated they would get tonight.
Both teams have been about the same at the free throw line. Kings 12 of 15, Sacramento 11 of 13. Rebound by Karl Malone.
Turkoglu has really had a bad series. Has not really gotten any sort of rhythm, and Rick Adelman can't stick with him much longer. He's got to go back to his starting lineup here pretty soon unless Turkoglu starts producing.
Marshall squeezes one inside to Malone. Knocked out of bounds. 10 seconds to shoot. 7:48 to play in the game. If Rick Adelman and the Kings win, they face Dallas on Saturday. If they lose, Game 5 in Sacramento on Thursday.
And they really want to win this game, obviously, and end it. They got 4 days to prepare for Dallas, who's on fire.
Kirilenko knocks it in. He's got 6.
It would be very tough for Sacramento to go to a Game 5 and then open up on Saturday after only 1 day to prepare for Dallas, but Dallas has a week off to prepare for them.
Weber's got 18. This touch on Ostertag slashing inside with a Utah foul.
Well, that's a better shot. Rather than shooting the fadeaway jump shot the way Chris did before, he took him to the basket and at least came up with something.
Ostertag was tagged with his 4th personal foul. And Chris Webber at the free throw line. The $123 million man as you take a look at the scoring leaders for both teams. Again, I continue to be shocked at the ineffective play of Karl Malone tonight.
Karl just hasn't looked to be offensive-minded enough. I mean, he's not getting to the free throw line. That's the key. He's forced to shoot only outside shots, and he hasn't been as aggressive as he normally is.
Shot hasn't gotten to the free throw line at all tonight. 0 of 0.
Well, which is unusual. He's shooting the jump shot from the outside. He's not posting up. It makes me wonder whether something is wrong, whether he's feeling well or not. Because one thing that you can expect that he's been consistent throughout his career is getting to the foul line and being very aggressive.
Here comes Stockton with 7 points and 8 assists. A 5-point game approaching 7 minutes to play in regulation.
He doesn't even look, he looks like he could play for 3 more years at least. I don't even see any sign of age.
Bibby's been giving Stockton all he can handle in this series.
Except for those shorts. Those hot pants.
Look at the defense of Kirilenko.
That's Spider-Man.
He's put a straight jacket into Stojakovic. And Daniel Marshall, 2-on-1, Kirilenko. Defense, straight jacket defense by Kirilenko. And then with the sledgehammer at the other end. And Stockton just before that. Off a screen. And schooling Mike Bibby. It's a 3-point game with 6.5 to play.
This is just a wonderful home you have. I could really see myself living here with Leslie when the two of you pass on. Not that you're going to pass on anytime soon, because you both still look great, you know, for your age. You both still have your motor skills. Got your dexterity, you know, you can still function. You can still, you know, lift stuff, which is great. So, Leslie tells me you're loaded.
It's just the same old thing. I need adventure, excitement. I'm suffocating.
Okay. You can drive.
Spice things up. The Hyundai Santa Fe. V6 power, full-time 4-wheel drive, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. The Santa Fe.
Don't even think about it.
Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection in a wipe.
Oh, baby. Is that you? Baby, you've changed.
Nestle introduces the best tasting baby Ruth ever with a tastier, softer center. America's baby just got better.
We are the sons and daughters of every hometown, playing this great game from street corners to cornfields.
I am USA Basketball.
And this summer, we will come together in this nation's heartland to take on the world.
We are USA Basketball.
Watch the USA basketball team compete against the greatest players from around the world at the 2002 World Basketball Championship. For tickets, call 1-800-4NBA-TIX or log on to 2002worldbasketball.com.
Ernie Johnson in Studio A. Just in case you missed game one of our playoff double dip tonight, the Toronto Raptors have tied things up with the Detroit Pistons. Alvin Williams, a big runner late in the game. Toronto wins at 89-83. There will be a Game 5 Thursday in Detroit, still to be determined whether it's TNT or TBS. And Kevin, if there's a Game 5 in that Sacramento-Utah series, it'll be Thursday in Sacramento, and you and the guys will be doing it, by the way.
All right, Ernie, thank you. And here we go. Close games. 1/3 of the games have been decided by 5 points or less. Parity in the East. No sweeps in the Eastern Conference. That hasn't happened since the '88 playoffs. The early MVP of these playoffs, Dirk Nowitzki. He was sensational. Utah trying to keep it alive. They've outscored the Sacramento Kings 10-2 in the last 2.5 minutes. And Chris Webber with the rebound by Dubas. Christie for three. A rebound by Stojakovic. Christie to Webber. Into Malone, who bats it away and picks up a Utah foul. He's got 3.
Well, and that's what usually happens when you give up that many offensive rebounds. Sooner or later, you end up committing a foul. They should have boxed out and gotten possession of that ball, especially now with the momentum changing in that direction.
Well, really tight on the shooting right there. Christie looked very tight on his shot, missed it badly. As did Webber, kind of short-armed that jump shot. He wasn't sure when to shoot it and kind of pulled back on it. And that's where they had problems, shooting the ball with any confidence.
Joey Sloan said in his huddle during that last timeout, stay on the shooter. And look at the fouls so far in this 4th quarter.
That's big. They got to take advantage of that and continue to go to the basket.
Webber tonight, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. The Kings have led by as many as 12, Utah by 2. And Webber gives Sacramento a 76-72 lead. Kirilenko. Christie defended.
Utah just never goes away. I mean, they just keep on battling. This is amazing.
Bibby guarding Kirilenko. Diving inside. Marshall with 4 to shoot. Ostertag. He's got 11 points and 14 rebounds. Chris Webber. Ostertag gets the rebound.
Ostertag is doing a great job at both ends. The Kings ought to really realize now what he's doing on the offensive end, though, and touch and put a body on it.
Malone. Ties the game at 76.
I do not like the body language of Sacramento. I don't like how they're running up the court, getting into their offense. I don't like their defensive intensity.
Sacramento has not scored from the field in 4 minutes. Bibby. Stojakovic for 3. Rebound. Divac, another offensive board. Chris Webber. Webber's got 23.
Big play by Bibby right there, driving the baseline, getting Stojakovic the shot, but because the defense had to react to Bibby's penetration, that opened up the weak side glass. Did you ever think that Ostertag would be MVP of a Jazz Game 4 here? Playoffs?
Here comes Donnell Marshall. Stockton.
And Ostertag got a hand on that. They've got to meet him and get him out of there. He's getting himself in great offensive position and then using his length to get a fingertip on the ball.
What I want to know is where's that guy been for 5 years?
Stockton on Stojakovic. Shot clock at 8 for Karl Malone. Missing badly. Rebound, Divac. Webber's got 4 fouls. Jackson's got 4 fouls. And how about that at the other end? Mike Bibby.
Well, that was a great move on Bibby's part because he got out real quick, noticing that they were getting backslid.
And that's the first basket of the game for Mike Bibby, and what a timely basket. Right there, drives length of the court. Stockton just relaxed, didn't see him coming. Oh my gosh, there he is, I better catch him. Malone, no one see him, caught him sleeping.
Bibby is 1 of 8 tonight.
Well, here's the man of the hour, Ostertag. He's just pushing himself inside. The ball goes up, and he's just tipping it in the old-fashioned way.
Box out!
One frontier.
partner doesn't take his chance.
One king.
Know damn well what kind of man I am.
Patrick Stewart, King of Texas. See the world premiere Sunday, June 2nd at 8 on TNT.
It's just the same old thing. I need adventure, excitement. I'm suffocating.
Okay. You can drive.
Spice things up. The Hyundai Santa Fe. V6 power, full-time four-wheel drive, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. The Santa Fe.
Don't even think about it.
Her charm seduced him.
I wish to explain.
You behave as though you've never seen a naked woman.
Never one quite so naked.
Her passion inspired him.
He wants to be a musketeer.
I need your help.
Anything.
But it was their love
I will kill that which he holds most dear.
that would save them.
I'm coming back for you.
All for one! The Musketeer.
Playing this month on pay-per-view. Tune to the 100s and order with your remote.
If you love the WNBA, then you can't miss this special offer. Now you can order WNBA Season Pass on DirecTV at the special early bird price of just $39 or 2 payments of $19.50. With WNBA Season Pass, you can see up to 80 out-of-market regular season games. Just call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order now. With WNBA Season Pass, you'll see all of the players and the teams that you want to watch. So don't miss this special early bird offer. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS to order now.
Fox to inbound. Kobe calls for it. He has it against Ruben Patterson. Then Kobe stop him. Bryant dishing off. Corey for three.
That was a sensational game. The Lakers sweep the Portland Trail Blazers. All right, tomorrow on TBS, Hornets and Magic, Nets and Pacers. Wednesday, we'll be in Seattle for the Spurs and Sonics, preceded by the Celtics and 76ers. What a week on Turner Sports. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. Here comes Stockton with Russell, Ostertag, Marshall, and Malone. Great block by Weber, and the other way, it's Stockton who intercepts the pass. Bibby didn't get back in time.
That was a horrible pass. 2-on-1 fast break. A good pass right there. That's a dunk.
Out of bounds, but off of Utah.
It's just amazing how much of the action that John Stockton is in, though. You talk about his age all you want to, but he's running with these youngsters. He's alert. He's getting himself in great position for a lot of the little intangible things out here.
Change it, John. It's off of Sacramento, and so Utah will inbound.
Big possession, right? Well, every possession's big for this stage of the game.
Karl Malone inside looking for Ostertag, broken up by Divac.
Overpass. Should have taken that shot, Dan.
That's about the third one of those. He's had open looks, and he's the best shooter on the team. He's got to take those shots. And Brian Russell has struggled offensively as well. Turned over a big shot the ball right into the palm of Chris Webber.
Utah's got 21 turnovers in this game. Shot clock at 7. Stojakovic with the Divac screen. 29 points for Peja Stojakovic. Make it 30. They call it a 3.
And no hesitation. You got to love that about Peja. He reminds me of Dirk Nowitzki out there playing the way he is tonight.
Ostertag can't tap it back in. Bibby's got it. A 4-on-3 with Stojakovic back to Bibby. Divac down the lane. Altered and blocked, deflected by Ostertag inside.
Great hustle by Mike Bibby. Good penetration in there, but Ostertag just blocks everything coming to the basket. But Stojakovic, big possession. Donyell Marshall running at him with those long arms. No hesitation.
His foot was very close to the line. There was a delayed signal by one of the officials to raise it and signal a 3, but indeed it is. Stojakovic has 30.
What a huge game by Peja. Team struggling offensively. Bibby not giving it to him at the offensive end. Neither is Christie, Vlade, or Weber's giving him the points he always gives them. But they needed Peja big to step up in this game.
Well, and it's not how much you score, it's when you score, Danny. And he's hitting shots when they need it. On the other side, you've got to give Ostertag a lot of credit. Regardless of what happens with the Jazz, he's come up big and done every aspect of the game that you could request of him to do.
Ostertag checks out. Marshall is back in. Free throw shooting in the fourth quarter. Well, Ostertag gets a standing ovation.
And well-deservedly so, too. I'm glad, as hard as people have been on him, that they're giving him credit once he plays well.
Just an update on Ostertag. They took away a basket of his on a tip-in. They gave it to Kirilenko and not Ostertag. So Ostertag 8 points and 15 rebounds.
Well, the free throws are 11-0. But right now, Utah, big offensive rebound, but they have all offensive players on the court. You don't see this with Utah very much. They usually are defensive-minded, but all 5 guys out there can flat-out shoot.
Patrick gets his first 2.
Well, the Kings would be a heck of a lot better off if they just box out. They're getting so many second opportunities out here.
They'll be out there with Weber, Stojakovic, Divac, and Christie. Driving is Weber down the lane. Stripped to the ball by Malone. It's a 3-on-2 off the pocket. Down the court. The Utah Jazz refuse to die.
Just when you're ready to nail the coffin shot, they just keep coming back. Beautiful fast break right there, all started by the defensive strip of Weber at the other end.
This will be Utah's first fourth quarter free throw. Their very first. Sacramento has gone 6 of 11 in the fourth quarter from the line.
And that's the key. Sacramento's been there 11 times, but they've only made 6. They could have this game shut by now.
This is a big possession for the Kings. They've got to score right here.
Stojakovic picked up by Russell. Shot clock down to 8. Oh, Russell racks it away.
Way too much standing.
Shot clock at 3. Divac hits a 3. A miraculous 3 by Vlade Divac.
That's terrible basketball by Sacramento, though. They were bailed out by a 30-foot jump shot. They got to move on offense.
Malone held by Divac in a foul. It's a 6-point game with 1:22 to play.
You know, this is what they get caught up in. They just give the ball, but right there, Vlade bails out the entire Sacramento offense. But when they just give the ball to Page, they play one-on-one, that's when he hasn't had success. He's gotten most of his shots off penetration and kick and off of movement.
How do you like to play that possession that far down the clock and then have Vlade throw up something way out there to go to?
Karl Malone, you're not going to believe this. Karl Malone's first free throw of the night is no good. One more coming his way. That has certainly hurt the Utah Jazz tonight.
I've got to feel, Kevin, that something is wrong with him because he doesn't have his usual aggressive attitude out there. That's why he's not picking up fouls.
But Vlade Divac's 3, a miraculous 3, gives the Kings a 6-point lead.
Kevin Garnett, the kid, player of the present and future. Ideal player of the 21st century. What up? We call him KG the Kid. KG. But if you seen him with a basketball, you know that he grown. If you seen him on the ball court, you know that he home. It's like every dunk is drastic. Woo! First to get drafted out of high school since Moses Malone. Everybody gotta earn their turn. I think the kid game got hotter since his jersey burned. And you couldn't find a finer kid than a 7-foot South Carolina kid obsessed with balls. And the rim need a hard net. Better act like you know. Come on, dog. That's Kevin Garnett. About to get an and-one all in your mug. Said he play around the clock cause it's ball in his blood. He ain't think about a turnover. That's KG, he the player of the future. And the game about the turnover. Think you got game, then you gon' have to learn over. Yeah. KG.
This summer, New York's toughest car is back. Witchblade. All new episodes, all new beginning. Coming this June to TNT.
A very un-Karl Malone-like performance. 0 of 1 from the free throw line. One more coming his way. 7 of 20 from the field. 14 points tonight for Karl Malone when he's been in the mid-20s almost since day one in the NBA. But a game tonight, John, with everything riding on it, an elimination game. He does not look like the Karl Malone we know.
Well, he definitely doesn't look like. You're talking about one of the greatest players ever to play this game, shooting that free throw right there. Some days it's just not there. He just doesn't have the gas in his tank. I thought it was something wrong with him, but Craig Sager reports there's nothing wrong with him.
Marshall, offensive rebound. Weber takes it away with Stojakovic, Divac, Bibby, and Christie. And the Utah Jazz with Stockton, Malone, Marshall, Russell, and Padgett. Danny, what does Sacramento have to do on this possession?
Well, they're going to run a pick and roll with Doug Christie, what they do a lot of times with Chris Webber, but they're going to throw the ball into Webber and work off him.
And that's exactly what they do as he goes against Malone. Short, Padgett with the rebound. Time is running out on Stockton and the Utah Jazz. A three by John Stockton.
You can never bury these guys. Ever bury this team right here. But Sacramento is showing how vulnerable they are in the half-court offense.
They've been exposed. Mike Bibby, another big King shot.
Well, and I tell you, that kid is showing some guts, too.
This is his first playoff series of all time. We talked about it's not how many you make, but when you make them. Two of the biggest shots of the game right now.
Marshall open for three. Rebound by Christie. Foul on the play by Brian Russell. 24 seconds to play. Christie was 0 of 7.
There's nothing you can do about this. He's so quick off the dribble. He just waits the whole game. He doesn't do that very much in the game until they get behind. Beautiful play right there. We see a solid screen right there by Chris Webber, knocking Stockton off. He shoots it over. And a guy that's been struggling all night has confidence and ice in his veins.
I can see him being a lot like John Stockton in his latter years of his career.
Because he can play any way. He can be a distributor. He can be a scorer. He can be a spot-up shooter. But in Sacramento, they use him more as a shooter. But we've seen in the 3 wins here, and I'm assuming Sacramento's going to win, although I just said we can't ever bury Utah.
Here's Christie at the free throw line. But Danny,
I like the ball in his hands more than I like it any other player on that team.
But Danny, has Sacramento been exposed in this series? The tempo can now be dictated. A bottom seed, pushing to a 4th and 5th game. It seems that perhaps now the Kings, who are thought to be invincible, have been exposed in this series.
Well, I think that everybody knows how good that they are, but I think Utah exposes everybody.
Well, exactly right. Nobody else is left that can play at the tempo that Utah want to play at the tempo that Utah plays at.
Or have the maestro like John Stockton out there.
7-point game. Stockton for 3 again. Rebound by Russell. Stockton is clamped in and picked up by Christie. The ball was kicked.
I hope this is not John Stockton's last game, guys. I mean, I've enjoyed watching him and the intensity. I mean, I'd love to see 22-year-old guys play with the heart and passion of him. I hope he decides to play again next year.
Well, this game is definitely not indicative of Karl Malone. You're talking about one of the greatest players ever played a game. It just wasn't there today for him.
Stockton for 3. Rebound Marshall. 3 seconds remaining. The Sacramento Kings have won in 4 games over the Utah Jazz. 3 seconds left. Webber to Jackson, and that'll do it. And to think what would have happened if Sacramento lost. Had the Kings lost this game, they would have played Thursday and met Dallas had they won the series on Saturday. As it stands now, Sacramento with the win, getting the series in 4 games. 4 days until they meet the Mavericks on Saturday afternoon.
And Sacramento has really grown in this series. They've had to work for everything they got, and they're going to be more prepared for the next round.
Well, and it wasn't a beautiful win, but I think it's a courageous win. Sometimes games like this make you better.
And let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Vlade, Peja Stojakovic was the star of the game, but the play of the game was that unbelievable 3 you made with the shot clock ticking down. Talk about the play.
That's normal. I see that. Is that normal shot for me?
No, he make it every day.
Yeah.
Let's Vlado, baby. Ready to go, Greg.
Well, it was just 2 seconds left on the clock, and I just threw it, and he went in.
Such a frustrating series for you going in. Only 1 assist in 3 games. Why were you so more active today, and why was the team better?
Well, we actually, as a team, we're struggling against Utah. They just, we played at their tempo in the first 3 games, and tonight we just ran, passed the ball, and it was much better.
You've taken, obviously, a lot of these teammates under your wing. Talk about Peja's game tonight.
Well, Peja was great. He was moving. Actually, a lot of credit to big people. They set good screens for Peja, and he was open, and he's one of the best shooters in the league.
Some people speculate this could have been John Stockton's last game. I saw you talk to him afterwards. What'd you say?
Not. I told him I wish to see him next year. He did a lot of good things for this league, and I'm proud to know this guy.
A lot of people are going to look at these games, compare it to the regular season, and say Sacramento's been exposed. Dallas has a way to beat them, to play like Utah. Is that the case, or does Utah just present so many problems?
Well, I don't think, Dallas is going to play like Utah. They play similar like we do, up tempo. So it's going to be a great series. I'm expecting, to see the series go 7 games.
Seriously, how surprised you made that shot?
Well, it was, like a shot. I would lie if I, tried to score. I just threw up. It went in.
Oh, so you were lying earlier.
Of course.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Back to Kevin.
All right, our Gatorade player of the game, and who else? The red-hot Peja Stojakovic, 9 of 13 from the field and 30 points. He is our player of the game tonight. Now, the brackets. Sacramento closes out their series. They'll take on Dallas beginning Saturday. The Lakers, Mavericks, and Kings all close out their first-round series on the road. Utah pushed them to the limit. 91-86 the final. The Sacramento Kings win the first round. Our producer tonight, Mike Burks. Our director, Lonnie Dale. Special thanks to Pat McGrath and Rick Maldonado. And now for John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long from Salt Lake City, Utah. We take a break, then send you to Atlanta. You're watching the playoffs on TNT.